God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadence, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
I hunted, Rob. I hunted for Tobey Maguire's dick.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Wait. I've got an idea.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
Nerdrotic.com.
Camera's on the whole time, huh?
I'm glad you didn't pull a DSP.
No danger of that. Sorry. I like my wife. Plus, it's a nooner. That's right. We got a nooner right now. And half of my face is completely numb, so the words will sound a little more strokey than usual, which you might not notice at all. Welcome, everybody, to the Nooner. I just got back from the dentist. The Dentist. Great song, by the way. Little Shop of Horrors. Love that movie. Did I say Little Shop of Horrors? I like that one, too. I think that one's good, too. It's a short French film. How's it going? What's up, Chris?
It's been great. I'm nearly fully recovered from Anime Matsuri, which, based on the bar tab, I shouldn't be.
Did it?
Oh, my.
I thought people were buying you drinks, Chris.
Yes.
You're like,
I bought
I
rounds for
can't
other
say
people.
no.
It was fun.
Okay. I can't say no to all these free drinks.
Yes, that was my attitude going in, and I think I altered that on Saturday. I was like, I don't know, maybe someone wanted to do shots at this bar we went to, which was this nerd bar around the corner from the hotel, and I just said, I cannot do shots. So it was an unusual moment for Frank Gore to turn away free drinks, but I did that actually by the end. It's crazy. I got to thank everybody. I met some so cool people. I met the Smoking Man.
Cash.
Cash Kester. Yeah.
Oh my God. Cash is great. Love him. He's like, he was doing the pose for people. That's how
Was he?
Yeah, it was awesome. And,
Well, you know, like some girls were getting paid to step on you at Anime Matsuri. He should have walked around and taken $2 to smoke with you. Like,
yes.
Ah.
I mean, X-Ray Girl, you could have made so much money offering to step on guys there.
yeah.
How much do people pay?
Well, they paid Lila $20. I think it was $2 for everybody else, but Lila, a little higher class, she got $20. By the way, just to address the chat, I am not into alcohol. I hung out in many bars. I hung out with drunk people all weekend, but I did not partake.
Gary's very good in that arena. Is very inspiring. He inspired me that like after Anime Matsuri, I'm taking a break, just taking a break.
Take a little break. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I go hard when I go to fun things, but also then I just get back to the grind and I'm, drinking tea and coffee. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Vietnamese coffee there was amazing.
I love Viet coffee.
Oh my god!
I should bring my little maker if I visit.
Yeah,
Texas,
that
and
is
I'll
my
make you
new
some Viet
favorite
coffee.
drink. That is my new favorite drink because it is like crack.
It is sweet and very caffeinated.
Welcome, chat. We'll get to you in just a moment. Hello,
people.
X-ray girl.
Hello, Gary. I am very glad that I'm still employed. I think.
Yeah. Explain yourself.
I streamed, but it's a good thing I streamed because later on.
I know it turned out to be good.
Streamed. I saved him. Well, I guess chat. I'm gonna give this one to chat. Chat told me, and I was like, "Oh, this is an impromptu stream. Maybe it's a square up. I'm just gonna make sure." So I went to check, and Gary's just doing.
I'm sitting there, so you guys couldn't hear it. I'm reviewing my video. I don't know how much you saw. I don't know how much if you saw the sausage getting made or whatever, but not the DSP
Sausage.
type. The video. I was recording a video, and my stream button is on my stream deck, and I guess I hit it. Now that's like the 20th time that's happened. But normally my streams are set to unlisted, so you don't see it. But this one wasn't for some reason, so you saw it. I don't know if you might have seen me recording. One day when it's all over, I'll show you the process. You'll laugh your ass off of how I record a video. So
they were totally making fun of you on Tuesday night's main event. It was hilarious.
How they did? Good, good. I deserve it.
Live for 5 minutes, just recording a video, and Melanie Mack was talking about how she would be humiliated because. You burp, you cough, you just sort of, you're recording audio, right? Or
Yeah.
It sounds hilarious.
Yeah.
I've been in prison. I can't get I can't get you. I'll do. I don't know. Blooper reels. I have some funny ones. But I know. I'm sure Garrett and Perry have a file.
They do. And some of the screenshots that I've maybe seen before are hilarious. So we all have a funny face sometimes when we freeze. It's just a certain image,
Dude, yeah, I don't like sit down and write these like pristine scripts and just read them. Oh shit, my videos would get done so much faster if I did that. What I do is I bullet point in my Etch-a-Sketch writing right here, and then I riff on the bullet points, and then most of this doesn't even get said. It gets said a different way, and then when I'm done with that section, I hit it with my highlighter. I know all the kids use this thing called the computer to write their scripts on and type things. I'm old school. So I have a stack, Chris, of backing boards about this high now of all my video scripts, my bullet points. I've kept them all. They're not in order. So when I die and my kid does the Nerdrotic archives, I want him to suffer. I want him to go through and try to figure out what order they go in.
It's so funny. I did the same thing when I was did DV Tuesday on Attack of the Show. I would have these cards that said Attack of the Show on the back, and I would just bullet point everything and but it sucks because I was live. So sometimes I would misspeak or state something different or mispronounce something. I'd feel like an idiot because it's live. And then if people sent me self-addressed stamped envelopes, I would just send out the cards with my notes on it.
Oh, that's cool.
And I don't have any.
That's totally
so
cool.
I would just give them away. It's like, send it to me. I'll send you like that was screen used, I guess, card. But yeah, you should keep those. Keep them all, man.
Oh, I do. Yeah, and like, yeah, people will. Like I said, it's like the 20th time it's happened. So it's just it got shared out there this time. I guess.
because that's the first time I've ever heard or seen you do that since working for you. But I mean, I could have missed a few.
Well, most of the time it was unlisted, so it's set. We got to keep it. It's always good. Rule of content creation: always have your live stream set to unlisted or private. Don't have it set automatically to public. That is bad. That is very, very bad. All right. So, what's the first thing we're going to talk about? Well, let's say hi to the chat. Hello, chat. How you doing? We got Smooth the DJ, who I got to meet, but it sucks that I'm not going to be able to see. I got your message, buddy. Next time, Rick Cleary, Robert Paul Champagne or Champagna 199. Shaka Zulu 12. What is this? Don't make me say hard words when I'm only half of my mouth is moving right now. I'm just gonna say, "What's up, dude?" He says, "Hey, Boomer." JM55, Real Jones, Scott McKenzie. Saw Scott at the con. Got some good picks. Finito Resum, Mike TV Dub, Fing Book, Not the Batman, Green Army Man, and Jetto Jaga. Welcome to the Nooner. Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen. Yes. Hollywood strike still going on. That's what my next video is about. Should be out tomorrow. It's long. It's long. Inspired by Chris. Inspired by an article that Chris covered. Dude, 51 points that guy made. That was a little much. And he keeps linking to his own stuff. And it's like, I think the most telling thing is both articles I read, one was from a showrunner and the other one was from a producer. So these are people who work in the industry, and both of their titles sound like one of my video titles. As a matter of fact, when Robert Meyer Burnett was covering one of these articles, his title was something like, "Is Hollywood in a death spiral apocalypse?" And somebody in the chat said, I thought this was a Nerdrotic video. I'm like, yes, Queen, yes. And believe me, I'm going to use a variation of either apocalypse, doom loop, death spiral. I wish I could just say the woke Hollywood doom loop apocalypse death spiral. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe that'll be the video. I don't know. Maybe that'll
work
be
in Snow White.
I did. I worked in some Zegler clips because she's so hot right now, even though they're older clips. But now that is going to inspire content creators to go back in I have files of these clips that I didn't use in videos, and I'm sure Perry does. And we could find old stuff all day long. All day long. But Ryan brought this up. You know, Oppenheimer, Barbie doing pretty good at the box office. Not a single late night show has been on for over 105 days. America is healing, by the way. Thank you very much. If they never come back, would you even notice? YouTube would look nicer. It's not being polluted by their clips. But they're so unnecessary now. Another interesting thing. We'll get to that. There's that article that was making the rounds that said YouTubers don't respect the strike. Of course not. Fuck, I don't give a shit. But the more important stuff in that article made my video too, which is not only how many people are starting to watch YouTube, it's where they're watching YouTube. And we can look at that stuff. You know, a lot of people, especially in the articles I covered, Chris, they're like, we don't know the numbers. And I don't know how, like, the streamers gauge the numbers. Well, the streamers know exactly what is going on with every second of their content. They know what you're eating. They know who you're with. They know your gender. They know everything. Because we do. Like, our analytics are pretty good. I don't go over them that autistically, to be honest with you. But we know what you're watching on. I know if you're watching on a phone. I know if you're watching on a desktop. I know if you're watching on a TV. Turns out a lot of people are watching YouTube on TVs now. That's bad news for Hollywood, dude. That is bad news.
You know how many women are watching or not watching?
Yes. Right here, it's 9.9%.
I think Ryan Cannell was saying he's like 10.7% are women.
Yeah, Ryan has some simps.
Right.
Ryan has some simps. I don't. I'm 50. I'm going to be 54 in 2 days. I don't. Yeah, I'm old. I'm old and crusty. He's a young buck. So he's got some girls in his orbit. I guess because I did so much preparation while I was conked out at the dentist, I think we should probably go look at do you have the Lucasfilm article of the Singapore layoffs? I have some insight on this.
Uh-oh.
Did I ever tell you that I almost got a job at Lucasfilm?
No.
Okay. I did, as an audio archivist, because I used to know the kind of the tape that they archived on. I learned it at Technicolor, and I went through the whole process, and I got the job, and then I didn't take it.
Wow.
But they were in the process of moving a lot of that over to Singapore. I was gonna be working on Lucas Ranch. I was going to be driving up to Marin every day, but the pay was $15 an hour, dude. I was like, nah. Nope. Disney to shut Lucasfilm studio in Singapore. Not quite Kathleen Kennedy being fired, but it's a sign of bad things. Now, this is primarily where the Clone Wars was done. And this is kind of a weird one. Like, why would you keep the American effects departments when the Singapore effects departments are so much cheaper? Unless it's got something to do with any potential unionizing that might be going on right now. A staff member, Lucasfilm Visual Effects and Animation Studio in Singapore will close down in the coming months due to economic reasons. Parent firm Disney said on Tuesday the Singapore studio was set up in the 2000s by Industrial Light and Magic, ILM, which was founded by Star Wars creator George Lucas in a division of film. For years, its home in Singapore was a striking sandcrawler building named after the Star Wars transport that inspired its design. Lucasfilm sold the building in 2021. That should have been a sign right there. Over the next several months, ILM will be consolidating its global footprint. Well, is it going to have a footprint? I don't know if it's going to have a footprint. Has Star Wars... Well, it's never made it in China. It's never been big in China. How is it over in Japan and in Korea? I have no idea.
I don't know either.
Is it pretty big over there? Or I mean, it might be. I just have no idea.
I don't know. Not sure.
And they're not doing anything in Russia, so is winding down in Singapore studio due to economic factors, blah, blah, blah. It did not say how many employees will be affected in Singapore. Disney said in February it was cutting 7,000 jobs, part of a reorganization as its traditional television business erodes and the face of stiff competition and eroding subscriber numbers for its streaming service D+. Lucasfilm's decision to wind down its Singapore operations is in a response to changes in the industry and business conditions. Changes in the industry and business conditions or multiple bad decisions by your idiotic, retarded leader named Kathleen Kennedy. Just throwing it out there. Okay. Singapore's stop the Asian hate, by the way, Disney. Stop the Asian hate. Singapore Infocom Media Development Authority, IMDA, and the Economic Development Board, EDB, said in a joint statement the global media industry is facing disruption. That's a key word there, Chris. Disruption. Mm-hmm. What Hollywood is experiencing is disruption. From rapid technology advancements while studios are coping with challenges related to talent and profitability. Well, there's no talent and you're not making any profits. Did I sum it up for you? God, they should let me negotiate the strike. They should let me negotiate the strike. Everybody would just go back to work. Okay. You can work, I would say like hammer that shit out later, kind of like kick the can down the road because you are dying right now. You're dying. The Singapore studio was involved in high-profile Hollywood productions, including Iron Man, The Avengers, and Star Wars films, according to EDB's website. And to be fair, the effects from Iron Man, The Avengers, and even the earlier Star Wars films that are shit are better than any of the effects we're seeing from Disney today. So they probably got rid of the best department. They probably got rid of the best department. Chris, any thoughts?
Well, a couple things. One, they may be shutting down that because they've wrapped production on a bunch of things. So
yeah,
I wouldn't read into layoffs that, I mean, you know,
I think
anything more than like certain things are done, right? Ahsoka's done, this is done, but they may not be doing future productions. So what are the future productions beyond Acolyte, right? Is this big, these movies that they've announced. They announced 3 movies at Star Wars Celebration. Let's never forget that until Lucasfilm tries to convince you to forget it. There's supposed to be a Rey movie that's shooting early next year. Do you think that's going to happen? So all these things are when a production wraps, everyone that's freelance is no longer working on it, right? So production may have wrapped, but think about it.
But that's a studio that's been around since 2004.
Okay, so that's interesting, but they may be preemptively making cuts because I don't think, and we talked about it back when Star Wars Celebration happened, that I don't think those movies are going to happen. Maybe the one Dave Filoni movie would happen as a way to wrap up all the Disney Plus Star Wars series, and it might only appear on Disney Plus. But this Rey movie, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, if the age of the girl boss is sunsetting as we speak, based on Snow White and everything else, I think Rey was the ultimate girl boss, right? Whose story did not resonate at all. Just didn't. You just didn't feel that story or any real conclusion to that character. You know, she got no closure with regard to her whole thing is she wanted to meet her parents and never did. I mean, you know, Luke didn't know his father, but then he got to know him. Not a great result, but it made for great storytelling. But I'm just saying that this, you know, these cutbacks are probably twofold. Production's wrapping, and I think they're looking toward the future. I don't know what's going to be the status of the James Mangold is supposed to make a Star Wars movie about the formation of the Jedi Knights. Do you think that's going to happen, Gary, based on the status, the current state of the brand?
No, because I think whatever movie they pick, Mangold's, the Rey film, whatever one, let's just say one manages to come out. I mean, I know that's asking a lot, but I'm asking you to stretch your imagination and imagine one of these Disney Star Wars movies comes out. It's going to flop. It is going to flop unless they make it for $50 million. It's going to flop. And you know they can't make a Star Wars film for less than, okay, I'll be nice, $175 million.
That's
then they'll change their plans again. You know, Warner Brothers gets, correctly so, by the way, gets a lot of criticism for knee-jerk reactions. Disney is like the opposite. Like they are ride or die with Kathleen Kennedy. And it's going to be die, by the way, just so you know. It's going to be die. Your brand is permanently damaged, and you overpaid for Star Wars. You just did. I said this at the time. I said, God, that's a lot of money for Han, Luke, and Leia.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for Han, Luke, and Leia, who are aging actors who are only associated with those actors. Good luck. Good luck recasting. It's possible, but it can never be what it was, and it never lasts for the most part, unless it's like a radical transformation. But most cases, it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. I don't know what the hell they were paying for. And then to immediately get rid of the EU, well, any potential value you had, they flushed down the toilet. So they overpaid. George made a mistake selling them. Did you see that clip Star Wars Theory shared? Marshall Lucas talking about George selling? She looked kind of upset.
I didn't see that.
Could you find that, X-Ray Girl? He tweeted it like 2 days ago. I don't know if he tweets like a 14-year-old girl or not. But like,
I did see.
I do too.
Why am I spacing on the name, Gary? The guy who was the his Star Wars channel is bigger than the official Star Wars channel. Star Wars
Theory.
Star Wars, is that Star Wars Theory?
Yes, Star Wars Theory.
He has a chin like Kirk Douglas.
Who has a chin like Kirk Douglas?
Is it this video here?
Yes. Yes.
Wait, let me. Okay.
Play.
Yeah, Star Wars. Yeah, I like this guy.
George always said to me, I will never, ever sell my company. I will never, ever put my company on the stock market. I'm a success. I made all this money. I will never, ever give up my company. And guess what? He sold it. That made me sad. George always said to me,
Yeah, that's from a show. It's by the Nacelle Company, and we actually interviewed the guy who talked to her, and he did like this 6-hour interview with her that he spread over this show, and Anime Matsuri kind of killed the brain cells that might have remembered what the show is, but it's from the Nacelle Company. They made that show, The Toys That Made Us, which is a great Netflix show.
Yep,
really great doc series. Oh my God, just the story behind the Jawa cape was worth it alone. The Jawa action figure cape from Kenner.
I remember.
Inside Nerd Baseball. But that clip is from that show where she talked about just things she's never discussed. And it was fascinating. But it's kind of shows you where George Lucas is. And then when you see those clips of him in the room with Kathleen Kennedy, where you see the betrayal, it's right out of The Godfather, man. Like, he got hoodwinked and bamboozled, and maybe he was
he made an emotional decision. He got pissed because of the reaction of the prequels, and it bothered him, and you can't blame him for that. But I would have just shuttered the thing and just made EU novels for the rest of the time and Star Wars figures. Hey, everybody thought it was a good idea to sell it to Disney. Everybody was on board. Everybody thought it sounded great on paper. I was one of those people. But it's sad looking back on it now. What a horrible decision it is. Disney has had Disney Star Wars, for over 10 years. Over 10 years. And the strength of this fan base and what it meant to Generation X particularly, it's our Beatles, okay? It's Generation X's Beatles. But Generation X is gonna fucking age out. And luckily, he caught a lot of the millennials with the prequels. But the once they're done, it's done. And the prequels were nowhere near as big as the original trilogy. Not even close. Not even in the same universe when you compare successes and the cultural zeitgeist. They're incomparable. Okay, that'd be like comparing fucking Green Day to the Beatles. It's really not comparable. What the original trilogy meant and how much it really does carry this franchise, and they systematically murdered it. And now we're so far into apathy, I can actually look back at it kind of unbiasedly, that's a fascinating thing that happened. The emotion is gone. It's been gone. And I love Star Wars, dude. The era when Empire came out, I was freaking 10, dude. It was the perfect age. I was 10 years old, and I kind of understood Star Wars. I was pretty young. I was 7, but when 10 rolled around, I knew what I was watching. Empire blew my mind. The toys were awesome. We had the John Williams soundtrack, and we had Bantha tracks, and that's all we had. And the occasional Starlog, which would repeat the same shit over and over again. But you'd also get longer interviews, right, with the creators, and it was fun. It was part of Generation X growing up in the Cold War, and it wasn't a nihilistic 70s movie. It wasn't this nihilistic, the world is shit. It was like, let's just have a fun adventure. Kind of what Hollywood needs to do right now. But it's gone. It can't be repeated. It could have been replicated decently. George did a okay job. I would say George was much better at outside stuff than making films. I will say Tartakovsky's Clone Wars are the shit. Absolutely great. Love them. I'm trying to think of what else Star Wars. I haven't liked much post the prequels, but some of the books are good. Some of the comics were really good. I would have stuck with that. You could have done that all like, you know, what doesn't make sense, Chris, is they're cutting by buying intellectual properties with established audience. They are cutting corners. They are trying to, hey, we've got this thing called a steady revenue flow from, so why not cut the other corner and just adapt shit that's already there? You know, I know it's hard to find creatives to do that, but it's not impossible, especially with as many Star Wars fans as there are. There's real Star Wars fans, and then there's the people who say they're Star Wars fans to get a job. That is the vast majority in Hollywood, by the way. Doubt many of them are actually really Star Wars fans. But they could have done that and would have saved them tons of money in script development. So that's where it boggles my mind. And the only explanation, dude, is freaking hubris and ego. That's the only explanation. Because it would be like, even if you have to pay that writer like a pittance in residuals, which would be nothing, right? An Alan Dean Foster or whatever, do it because you'll have a successful movie. But no, let's subvert expectations and take all these risks with the things that we paid billions of dollars for. What could possibly go wrong? Fucking idiots. They're so dumb, Chris, because they don't understand the nerd. They don't understand the audience, and they don't want to understand. It's not like there aren't millions of nerds screaming their heads off, telling you exactly what to do. And there has been Chris, this has gone over. I was doing the math. We're approaching a decade of this shit. We're into 7-8 years of this woke deconstruction shit, if you really think about it, of it being accelerated. And it's getting old. God, I can't wait for it to die.
That's why I think the reaction to the Snow White nonsense, which is weird because those interviews with her are 1 year old. They're from the D23 that Alan went to, where he saw a scene from the Marvels and was like, oh yeah, this is like a Disney Plus show that's for girls. So, but I guess they're going to theatrically release it. But all of that stuff is old. And when you see, I feel bad for Gal Gadot. Like, so she's the evil queen. Like, she certainly isn't envious of Snow White for her looks. I mean, Gal Gadot is beautiful. Like, what do? They're going to ugly her up? Like, it's ridiculous.
I barely care about Disney animated films. The older ones are fantastic pieces of art. I understand their importance to Hollywood. This film made Disney. This film made Hollywood. This film made animation. All that anime you like out there, kiddos, probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Snow White. Just saying. But
it would have been useful if someone sat her down, Rachel Zegler, and just explained to her the cultural significance of Snow White, what it meant to Walt Disney as a company.
Rachel, find it out for yourself, Mrs. Know-It-All, with your eyebrow, with your unibrow floating around like it's got its own, like it's sentient.
But it's typical of the current, narcissistic epidemic that swept society, that all of her comments, all of them about Snow White are not about Snow White. It's about her. It's about her reaction. Oh, I was scared as a kid. She's actually not wrong about that ride. It's like a lot of those rides in Fantasyland. It's like they said, I know you're in the middle of designing this ride, but or these attractions here at Fantasyland, but we're going to have to cut it in half. So all the Fantasyland rides are like half the story. It's the weirdest. It is
weird, but if you drop some 4-way window pane and you go running around Fantasyland, it's trippy as fuck, dude. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yes.
Whole new experience. Don't do it, kids. It's bad for you. Just saying.
Yeah.
Woo.
But all of her comments about Snow White are about her. They're not about the legacy, what it means to other people, how it.
Because she didn't do the work.
I don't think she even appreciates what came before her.
No. Somebody, I think it was Yellow Flash. If I'm getting the credit wrong, I'm sorry, but somebody just put right under one of her interviews, Chris, because so many are going around, that this is a girl who's never been told no in her life. It is. Does your kid act that way, Chris?
Never. My kids do not act like that. They don't even care that much about social media. My kids, but my kids are. They kind of missed it, and then they begrudgingly are on it because everyone in their peer group is, but they don't use it. They're not making declarative statements about things. I think, it's just weird. This is a generation that was, that grew up on porn and social media. Seriously.
It's true.
So you see how their minds are deranged, even when it comes to healthy male-female relationships. I was hanging out with a bunch of the Simpcast, the ladies of the Simpcast, and that was...
And nothing says healthy relationships like members of the Simpcast.
Come on, some of them are married.
Some of them are, okay. Brittany's in a good relationship.
Chrissy's
in a good relationship.
Lila is married.
Lila's in a good relationship.
Come on, give them some credit. But they, that is a recurring thing, and it's both men and women. You can't just point to one gender on this, but they are, relationships, male-female relationships currently are broken. They are broken.
Cannot agree more.
Not helped at all by social media, mainstream media, and just bad messaging, or as what Bill Maher put, and I think Bill Maher is in many ways out of touch, but he's also had some moments of clarity where he kind of sees things. He reviewed Barbie in the context of a zombie lie. The movie is based on a zombie lie, a lie a thing that is commonly held belief that is a lie that doesn't exist currently, but it's based at like this whole idea of the patriarchy and whatnot.
I agree. A drinker kind of insinuated that in his video as well, his great video. They were trying to make fun. See, I think it was poorly executed satire in a lot of cases. That's all I think it was. I don't think Greta Gerwig is this fucking genius like everybody's saying. But I think they were irreverent and fun, but it's still, the patriarchy is a lie. And your friend, and we love her here, Comic Book Girl 19, did a great review. Watch the whole thing. And you're right, Chris. What she sums up at the end explains it perfectly.
Yeah.
For this world to work, it needs to be egalitarian. We actually do need to be equal. We do need each other. You might, I know there's a couple dudes out there who say you don't need no bitches. Whatever. Okay. Talk to me when you're 70 and living in a fucking trailer, dude. We make fun of the girls who are going to be like you should, the ones who are going to be alone with 9 cats. Well, he's going to be, alone in a trailer with 9 dogs. It's the same result.
By the way, I was hanging out with Danica on Monday, talking about projects, trying to, we try to help each other. That's what we try to do. And I talked to her. I said, your Barbenheimer review is pretty amazing. You should go on FNT. So if you ever wanted me to make that connect, Gary, I think she started following you. So
she follows me on Twitter, yeah. Or on
Twitter.
Xer.
Tell her to follow me.
Okay.
I'll reach out eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
She was one of the, she's in the first 5 channels I subscribe to on YouTube. She's one of the early ones, yeah. Well, because I like comic books. And she would talk about comic books. There was a time she talked about comic books. Comic Book Girl 19. Yeah. It was a long time ago. But yeah, good review. So you were saying about, I always want to say Renee for some reason. It's Rachel Zegler.
Rachel Zegler,
yeah. She's getting torn apart. Like, she is getting destroyed. Now, there was an apology that went up, Chris, and you informed me that it's old. That's why I don't jump the gun on all this shit, because I'm like, I don't know what this is from. I don't know what the context. I listened to it. I couldn't tell you what the fuck she said. I don't know what she's taking responsibility for. She's like, it's really scary being in my head. Get over yourself, girlfriend. She is just really, really narcissistic and self-obsessed and young. We got to keep that in mind.
Crazy.
I have to keep that in mind. I know people are going in hard on her right now. I think it's the marketing department to blame. I think she's a dummy. What's the girl's name who played Wednesday?
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
She's lovely.
Jenna Ortega is great. I like her. I don't like Rachel Zegler very much, and she imploded her career, Chris. So coming out of this strike, Chris, I think this is what I should go and negotiate. I should go sit down with the SAGs, the Film Actors Guild. We're gonna work this out easy, but I have one provision. Shut up and act. Shut up and act. I made this proposal 2 years ago before there was even a strike. I said, Hollywood, you want to win fans back? You know what? Let's do it kind of a one day at a time. But let's go a year without talking anybody. Nobody talks shit about a paying customer. You know what? Don't be political. Just promote your industry for a fucking year, especially now. Okay, I was mentioning this after COVID. This is going to be worse. There better be a bunch of fucking Tom Cruises out there running around thanking everybody and being grateful. That's if you want to win, because Hollywood, you have a well-earned reputation for being diddlers. You got to kind of get out of that one. And you also have one of being entitled, ungrateful, and pissing on the country that allowed you to pretend for a living and make a pretty good living doing it. Yeah, the fact that the Writers Guild has 20,000 people who write pretend in some form or another, or write in some form or another, and get paid is crazy. The Screen Actors Guild is 160,000. I mean, I know a small percentage are actively working every day, but that's people who pretend and get paid.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's required for that to happen? Comfort. You know that thing Jar Jar Abrams didn't want us to have? No more white comfort. Remember when Bad Reboots did that in the middle of the Summer of Love? I do. I will never forget. But for Jar Jar Abrams to make $250 million on a deal he produced nothing for, what a great country, right? $250 million, by the way, for producing jack shit. And he says no more white comfort. Fuck that dude. It requires comfort because Hollywood, you are a luxury brand that requires disposable income. When I was selling comics, I knew exactly who was getting canceled first during an economic downturn. Me. Maybe the cable's next, but I knew comic books were first. And guess what? It happened. So now you're in the same situation. You're having a shrinking amount of money. You're fighting over a smaller piece of the pie. So I would just say, go out there and be as nice as you fucking can. Kiss a lot of ass. You're going to need to, and you're not going to get everybody back.
I don't understand because actors, just knowing actors, okay? Knowing a bunch of actors and you meet them in different situations at film festivals or during awards season or even wherever. And to your face, they're very nice because they've been trained to be really nice to whoever is in front of their face because that's how you get hired. You get hired by being likable in the room, not just for your talent. Everyone is talented. In Hollywood, all the actors, I mean, some more than others, but for the most part, everyone is super talented. You're competing with people who all got A++ in school. So they're trained to be super nice. This is why I don't understand the disdain for the audience. And I don't think it comes from the actors. I think it comes from the people surrounding the actors. I think it comes from bad advice that they hear. That's why it's like, I look at Rachel Zegler. She's not smart enough to have the thoughts that are in her head. And she's a crazy actress. I'm being dead serious. She is not smart enough to have those thoughts. She overheard this because her publicist said this. Her bitter publicist, who could be one of the wine moms that worked as a writer on She-Hulk, bitter, angry, and sometimes a bitter, angry publicist is someone who tried to make it in the industry who didn't.
Yes.
And she's parroting things she's heard other people say, who she reveres as being smart, because actors are all empty vessels. So when I see actors say stupid shit, I'm like, well, who said that around them? Actors are like children. When a child when a 3-year-old says motherfucker, it's because they overheard someone else say it. And I feel the same. Actors are just like toddlers. They're like kids. They do the exact same thing. They'll just serious. I'm being dead serious.
I 1000% agree with you. Go on.
Yeah, it's like, that's why I don't blame them so much. And it's just like, oh, well, But you reach a certain like I had a really interesting exchange with an actor. Oh my God. I might have to tell you this one off camera, Gary, because it was the weirdest exchange where this person had a very strong political opinion. And then I said, well, I don't know if I completely agree with that because X, Y, and Z. And in the middle of the conversation, this person changed their opinion because I was directly in front of them, basically challenging that idea. I'll put in the private chat.
Empty vessels. Yeah, I've been to a couple of soirees with a couple of actors, and you are not wrong. That's why I call them adult pretenders. They're mostly like room temperature IQ simpletons for the most part. But like writers generally aren't, for the ones in Hollywood now. But like in the past, writers are pretty smart. J. Michael Straczynski, smart guy. That's a smart guy. Okay. So like to hear this from the marketing, you're right. So the main problem in Hollywood that they absolutely refuse to see, that we bring up here all the time, and I'm going to continue doing it because we're the only place in this sphere that brings it up at all, is Hollywood's giant blind spot is they have pissed off half the fucking audience and they won't admit it. Either they don't see it because of their own political bias or bigotry, whatever the fuck it is, their bigotry towards Christians, whatever. They just refuse to see it. You are not a person to them anymore. You've been othered. They love to use that term, but they actually practice it. They have practiced it with their paying customer. And they're like, oh, this money's gone away. What could have possibly gone wrong? What did we do? I mean, we just called half of our fans bigots, but they're bigots. They should accept their bigotry and us calling them bigots and still give us money because we're right. I mean, I don't know what the fuck their process is, but they're so fucking stupid. I read these 2 articles that really broke down pretty well, like what led up to the strike. And they just missed this giant thing of, oh yeah, and your town pissed off a lot of people during COVID, during the riots, during the election, just on a Wednesday. You fucking have been pissing people off. There's consequences to pissing off half the voting population and telling them to fuck off. They did. They're like, okay, no problem. I can just save my money and not pay for the declining quality of your shit, of your absolute shit. Then you dumb fucks have a fucking hit, have a box office run like you haven't seen in years, and you go on strike. You are retarded, Hollywood. You're functionally retarded. It's unbelievable, and they know it. They know their whole business model is going to crash, and some are finally admitting, hey, maybe it needs to. You know what? A lot of good things come out of failures. But in America, lately, things have not been allowed to fail, like banks. When the banks should have failed, the whole financial crisis was caused by banks overlending and individuals taking loans they knew they couldn't pay back. So that's called personal responsibility, by the way. I hear this predatory lending. Okay, maybe 10% were too dumb to understand what they were doing, but the other ones knew exactly what they were doing. They're like, oh yeah, I can get $1 million loan with 0% interest. That's real. Fucking crazy. But I digress. Parts of Hollywood should be allowed to fail. It should. I heard talk of regulation. Like, that's crazy. No. Fuck no. Hell no. Fuck no. Fix your own problem. That's what I say about that. But, yeah, Chris, I don't know, dude. It'll be interesting when they come back. It'll be a smaller industry. Streaming has truly screwed the pooch. And the producers and the financiers or whoever is responsible fucking oversold it like crazy. And the people who truly got screwed were the investors and the shareholders in these ventures, who they were told there would be this limitless subscriber base and limitless profits. And, oh, yeah, we have something from Hollywood we've never had before, a steady revenue stream. It's not as much of a gamble as it used to be. That was a big fucking lie. So who's to blame? Everybody who worked there, because they all knew what they were doing. Don't act like you got bamboozled. Like, we had no idea Netflix was going to be like this. They've been there for 10 years, slowly doing this. Disney has been developing Disney Plus since 2014. This is not new. Everybody knew this was coming. Everybody. I was there. We were talking about it in 2011 when I worked at Technicolor. You know, a lot of this, Chris, is held over from the last strike. There's a lot of shit they didn't deal with in the last strike, and they kicked the can down the road, and they're still dealing with the consequences. It's kind of crazy. But you know what, Chris?
What?
A lot of people are watching YouTube.
Yeah, they are. It's. I mean, I personally love that there's every kind of niche imaginable. There is and sometimes in many cases, very well produced show about a topic that is so like a small sliver. There would never be like a program about that on regular television because it has to reach a certain number of people to even be viable to fund. And I think Hollywood has reached that place where, you know, they say too big to fail. I think it's too important to fail as a tool for manipulation and social engineering, right? Like that's a lot of what Hollywood does. You know, that's why these franchises, they've sort of grafted onto them, you know, agendas that make no sense. So there you go.
No, and the fact that things are so big now, so the bigger companies are actually are worse off, and companies like Sony or companies that decide to real soon, like let's pull the plug on our streaming service and just you know, because everybody knew how this was going to end. Once the word streaming wars started, where like 3 or 4 are gonna make it out of this, and what's going to happen is. They'll be the big dogs, and the other studios will just make content, and that's kind of what you did before. And is it kind of the same as the cable model? Sure, I guess there'll always be like other. You know, I think what can survive is like, what's the horror streaming site? Is it Shudder?
Shudder. There's Shudder, Full Moon Entertainment,
Yeah,
Trauma Now.
I
They're
think
like $5.
Yeah, I think little stuff like that's going to survive, and you'll be able to get independent content, and it's going to just shatter and fracture. So yeah, you'll have your 4 big mamas, which you kind of need to drive the industry, and then there'll be hundreds of really tiny artisanal ones, and I'm fine with that. That's great. You know, the music industry back in the day was driven by 5 or 6 super groups. We're talking back in the 70s, and then there was a bunch of underground bands. But those super groups drove the industry. I talked about it in my comic shop. There was like 20 guys who were the biggest buyers in the comic shop, and everybody else just bought a comic book here and there. That's how it works. You know, Marvel DC not succeeding is not good for comic books. It's not good for independent comic books. It's not good for the industry. We need that. I'd love. They're not gonna, but I would love for them to change. Same with Hollywood. Except for Disney, which could die tomorrow, and I think the world will be better off for it. I'd like to see a lot of the studios just change. Improve. Not sure it's going to happen. You know what's not going to help Hollywood? We'll get back to the YouTube thing. Is Blue Beetle is already on track to be another domestic box office flop for DC, and I think the projections were. Let's see.
I have some numbers in an article.
Okay.
I don't know if this is.
Oh, okay. So Blue Beetle, I think it cost 120 million to make, so it's not a 200 million crazy budget. And what is poised to be a case of Warner Brothers beating itself for the #1 spot at the box office this coming weekend. The studio's new DC superhero title, Blue Beetle, is poised to halt Barbie's 3-weekend streak with a 28 to 32 million opening. Barbie, meanwhile, is looking at 22 to 24 million. It was pretty fucking good. Per industry sources, though Monday, the Greta Gerwig directed Mattel doll counts 531.2 million, the studio's domestic top grossing title ever. God, I hate it. The numbness is wearing off, so it itches, but I can't feel anything. It's so weird.
So they used like a local.
Lidocaine?
Yeah.
Oh, I had some dental work done. Same thing. It feels like someone punched you in the face.
Yeah.
For about a day. I actually kind of thought it was cool. I liked it.
The pain?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's weird, Chris.
Oh, Chris.
It was no, okay. But no, it's just like weird. You're kind of coming down.
We know what Chris likes to do in his spare time.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I also had dental work done, so I'm wondering if we had the same dental work done.
Oh, I had I had a couple of teeth knocked out. Like what? Not completely knocked out. I got in a lot of fights, so I have a lot of broken teeth. I have 4 broken teeth that have crowns. I needed it replaced, and I got a filling done, so I'm done. I'm done. And it was all the shit I put off during COVID, right?
Oh man.
Because I was in San Francisco, so nobody would fucking open. And by the time I got San Diego, I was too busy moving. Got to take care of that dentist stuff, and I don't have insurance, right? So I pay out of pocket for everything. It's really fun. Really fun. Especially when my kids go. My kids are good, though. They don't have cavities and stuff. So 30 million. Oh, God, that's August. That's relatively new. All right, so we're going back. So it's Mahler put it best. If you're going to do a review for Blue Beetle, make sure it's out by Saturday. Because by Monday, no one's going to remember it. Chris, you're a big shill. How come you weren't invited to an early screening?
I don't know. I don't. Warner Brothers hates me. That's okay.
Why does Warner Brothers hate you, Chris?
Oh my God! Back from the day when I had 2 writers crash the set of Batman Returns.
That's
not a
fucking
joke.
awesome.
I
That
have
is
that
punk
issue,
rock. I love it.
Because I wanted to cover Batman Returns. I love Batman. I put Batman on the. There are 2 print editions of Film Threat that I put Batman on the cover of. One, I sneaked into the theater and took a camera, like this is a film camera, it might have been 88, and I shot photographs from the Batman trailer, and last minute put it in an issue of Film Threat magazine. Then for Batman Returns, I had 2 guys crash the set, and they wrote about being extras on Batman Returns, and I was trying to look at angles because I was getting no cooperation from the studio. Then I had a friend of mine who worked at Time Magazine, of all places, send me over like, oh, they sent us slides. Here, I'll send them to you to duplicate. And we did it. Like, I would do anything to cover it, and for some reason we were cock blocked. And so for years I've been on their shit list. That's the real story behind it.
Never got off it. That's a resentment. I mean, you've gone through CEOs, multiple CEOs and board members. Yeah. You've outlasted them all. But still,
yeah, I guess I could probably go through the legwork and call somebody, but I just don't
bother?
care. Like,
oh, so you can see. I mean, seeing Blue Beetle early would be nice, and from my home and not having to go to the theater, that'd be good.
Right. Well, the fact that they're doing the press screenings like the week of. That shows no confidence. It shows no confidence in the movie. They normally do these things, weeks before, they've got the big red carpet thing. Obviously they can't do that with the actors, but they could with the director. I saw an interview with the director of Blue Beetle.
The one whose job is done because he's fired. Wait.
Yeah. And,
that's some Ryan Kinnell lore. If you saw their tweet exchange. I must have.
It was from the IMAX channel. They did this like 15-minute interview with him, and
what did it say? Batman's a fascist.
Nothing interesting. It was all cheerleading the movie.
That's fine. That's what you're supposed to do.
I guess, but it was like nothing interesting.
Well,
like,
he
didn't strike me as particularly
like good at his job.
Just nothing interesting to say, and I felt like, but he has a look. The guy has he had painted fingernails. Like, which is whatever, fine. I had punk friends in the back in the day that would paint their fingernails black. No judgment, but I don't understand straight men that paint their fingernails. I don't get it. Are their girlfriends? Are they making them do it? Like, I don't. There's certain, and I'm very basic and normal looking, right? My hair, whatever, but like. I see these trends with guys, and I'm like, I think you might regret this later. This is not.
Yeah, I mean, like,
fingernail.
okay, I like painted a fingernail back in my punk rock days, because
Yeah,
but
there
like
was a
not
punk rock
all of
thing.
them.
Or
I didn't go
if you're
get a
the lead-
manicure.
if you're
It'd
the
be
lead
black
singer of the-
too. It'd be black. It wouldn't be like red or purple. So
Well, wasn't it a drug thing too?
it
Like,
was. Yeah, it was like my crank nail. But
yes. Yeah. So
yeah. Chris, I miss the days of directors who just did not take care of themselves.
Right.
Because they were so focused on the movie. Peter Jackson, Stanley Kubrick, Orson Welles. I miss those days of the R tour who just didn't get. I said, I've got no time to think about what I'm eating or anything because I'm hyper focused on this film. That's an artist to me still. Maybe I'm old school, Chris. I don't know. So he had nothing enlightening to say about like how they shot it. What was their approach? So did you get did you get the impression he was hired for his identity?
That 100% had something
Yes.
to do with it. Like, I mean, look, I'm sure he is talented as a filmmaker, but literally, if you're a director on a production of that scale, action and cut, talk to the actors. You can even be enclosed in the video village. You don't even need to deal with the actors all that much. So I just know they make it real easy when you reach that level. And the directors who really care, who are true craftsmen and filmmakers, they work differently. So that's all I'll say. But I saw the interview and I just was underwhelmed. I want to say he didn't say anything stupid. I was just like, I feel like I didn't learn anything. And I like to, when I, talk to filmmakers or see interviews, I want to feel like I learned something.
Yeah, the cultural impact of Blue Beetle will be it was just another flop before they reboot the DCU. And the only reason the Blue Beetle film exists is DC thought that they could have their Latino Spider-Man. That might be kind of construed as an Iron Man too. Blue Beetle, not the best character in the world. The comics were okay. It's very DC. It's a dumb name. Blue Beetle's a dumb name. I'm a comic fan. I sold Blue Beetle. It's a dumb name. It's not one that strikes fear in the heart. It's like, oh my God, it's Blue Beetle. It's like, come on. It's not that cool.
Have you seen that book that's the Regrettable Superheroes? And it's a book of superheroes that didn't survive. Dude, you gotta get this book. There's a supervillains version of it too. And it's all it is comic books. We know the reason we know Spider-Man, Batman, Superman is because they outlived their time. This is the book. It's Regrettable Superheroes.
I have seen that book. I'll get it. And
it is the weirdest collection. Here's a superhero called the Geek.
The Geek.
Like, it's just filled with and you're looking, even the color design for some of these. What the hell is this guy?
Yeah. Golden Age superheroes were the best because that's when they were just throwing everything out there, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's where Blue Beetle comes from, by the way.
This is X-Ray Girl should cosplay this. It's Pat. What is this? Pat Parker, War Nurse. The War Nurse.
Oh my God.
She's got a machine gun and a white mask, and
she could put me in triage anytime.
Form-fitting top. What the hell? But these superheroes are just
those are awesome.
Weird.
They're weird.
And
And Blue Beetle, that's brilliant. Blue Beetle should have been Ted Kord and weird, a period piece.
Yes.
It should have been in the 60s. And I'd have leaned into that, but not really hip. We're really trying hard to give our own Spider-Man Blue Beetle with the lower budget that we're now just going to market to a specific identity. I'm not saying, hey, don't have a full Latino cast. I would just say try to have the mass appeal. They are going to have Spanish screenings. I looked, and the opening screening here in the very Latino-friendly San Antonio, which is fine with me. The Mexican food, not as good as California, but it's pretty good. Tex-Mex is pretty damn good. I like it. It's half full. What does that mean? I don't know, because I don't think it's going to make a lot of money. If it does, Wonderful. I'll see how it is. We're going to review it on Friday Night Tights. And then I think I'll forget it by Saturday morning. So we got Disbrew coming on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe somebody else, if they can see the movie, they're not sure.
Oh, okay.
Is that Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers?
Jeremy ain't going to watch that. Jeremy's going to watch Mr.
Dude.
Beast. I don't know. I don't know what Jeremy does other than stream. Yes, the Friday Night Tights crew has been instructed to see Blue Beetle, and they've also been instructed to see Ahsoka. Absolutely, 1000% see Ahsoka, because this time, guys, Star Wars is saved. Star Wars is so saved. They are so proud of Ahsoka. They got the 2-episode premiere to Chris. Oh wait, they didn't. This is like the one you didn't get early. It's kind of weird. You still might get it though.
Well, yeah. I'll message you the minute I get it, because the sort of Mission Impossible task I have to do to actually make it work. They do have this app called Disney Debut that you can use it. I think it's on Roku and Apple. So you download this thing called Disney Debut, or you just cast it to your television. So my prediction is I get Ahsoka the day it comes out, so it's irrelevant. I can just watch it on Disney Plus, which I plan to that Wednesday. If that happens, Gary, I'll either stay up late, get up early, so when I'm on the Nooner, you and I will both have seen it.
Okay. Good. No, I am fully committed to seeing Ahsoka and seeing Starhers, seeing the Force's female be brought into fruition, in full fruition. See all the girls. There's going to be the first girl-on-girl lightsaber duel. By the way, it's not the first girl-on-girl lightsaber duel. There's a lot of short films on the internet that have girl-on-girl lightsaber. They've been doing it for years. Come on. They scissor afterwards. I might be more interested in the show. But, yeah, they're doing the same shit. And I love Rosario Dawson, and I think she's boring as fuck as Ahsoka. I think she's just dry and boring. It looks like she's standing in front of a volume, repeating lines she just memorized 10 minutes earlier. So she's got, like, I don't know, part of Rosario Dawson is her personality. I like that. But, yeah, could care less. And I really don't want to see Heir of the Empire given to Ahsoka. That's gonna piss me off. Oh man.
We'll see if this girl-on-girl lightsaber duel is anything like that scene from Requiem for a Dream. Gary, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. I think if it is like that, I'll probably like it. I'll be more interested. I'll actually be engaged in the story at that point. But I think Requiem for a Dream will have a better ending than Ahsoka.
Oh no! I saw that movie once and
I never saw it again. It's a fucked up movie.
It is so effed up and dark. Yeah.
It's like, Aronofsky, what is wrong with you, dude?
Right.
There's something wrong with you. Like, I want to make this entire movie about everybody's life being shit. Yay. And people walk out of it and go, it's so powerful. It's like, you just, dude, live life. It could be that fucked up. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to read some soups and then we're going to get to this article here real quick. Blue Beetle, fart in the wind. I think fart in the wind. What's funny is I asked Mrs. Nerdrotic. So back in the day, Chris, I used to get really excited for superhero movies. I called my friend Tim in San Francisco. He'd bring his girlfriend. There'd be a big group of us. Some Lucasfilm people would go with us. And we'd all go and watch the latest superhero movie. Now, it was like twice a year at that point. But we made a night of it, had dinner, had fun. It was, I miss those days. Those were good. Now, and all the family would go. My kids never missed a superhero movie. Now, it's like, Mr. Nerdrotic, you want to go see Blue Beetle? No. I don't even bother asking my older son anymore. And my younger son felt sorry for me and is going because he felt sorry for me.
Oh, no.
Oh, dude.
I don't want you to go alone, Dad. So I'll humor you.
What a trooper.
Thanks, son. That's your core audience. Wants to humor their dad. Good Lord. But that's but no, superhero fatigue. It's not a thing. You know, like we're gonna start seeing movies that are good, not perform. Mission Impossible 7. That's not superhero, but that's a form of fatigue. That's a movie that's pretty good. It's in line with everything in the franchise, and it should have performed somewhere within the and it's not going to do that. That's fatigue. Off of a star who's got a lot of goodwill. Everybody still loves Tom Cruise. I think people like him more now than ever. I think he went through like a really weird period, and I think he's kind of had a redemption arc. All because he said, "Thanks for coming to the movie theater." So simple. The simple thing. It's not simple for Hollywood, though, because that would be, I need to look beyond my massive ego. All right. We will start out with Smoo the DJ, who I met at Anime Matsuri, and so did you, Chris. And Frank the Tank Gore made quite an appearance at Anime Matsuri. Did a great job, by the way.
I'm so sad I wasn't there for that.
Oh, man. Oh, X-Ray Girl, I think even you would have run out of steam at a certain point, but I came with certain pieces of wardrobe. I had this, like, they were called, because I wore this really cheesy, like, 4th of July America.
Oh, I saw that.
That was great.
And they were like, "Hey, you're Frank America. That's what you are."
I like that. Frank America was good.
I'll go with that.
I thought the panel was fun. We had, considering it was Friday, the place was full. And hanging out with Will, dude, critical drinker, good. Just a real good, nice guy. That's all he is.
What a good dude.
Yeah.
Not just that, by the way, nobody noticed that I completely stole his tweet. He wrote this thing about Anime Matsuri. I literally copied and pasted it, but I added some names. It's the exact tweet that he sent.
Is that the one where you said thanks to the ladies, including Lofty?
Okay.
Yeah, I added that, and Lofty didn't notice.
I know he didn't notice at first.
Eventually did.
So I guess you're going from Frank Gore to Ian Miles Gore.
yeah, that's me. No, but I did it on purpose to goof, and then no one noticed. Not what I am telling you now.
You're 10 steps ahead
about Anime Matsuri.
on your goofs. You're 10 steps ahead.
Yeah.
I do that on Twitter all the time. I was one of the tweets I was the most proud of was the least like. So me and Josiah were going back and forth. Smoo will get to your super chat in just a second. Me and Josiah were going back and forth, and he said, "Real men take cold showers." And I'm all, no, smart men only take them when they have to. And he says, "Well, wouldn't life be?" I mean, he was responding, right? "I'd love to go through life and not doing things I don't have to." And I'm all, "Well, life is a journey, young Josiah. And we don't really figure it out until we leave Hollywood." And which is totally an inside joke with Josiah because, of course, what was it? Julian, the actor who went on a hike and died. What was his name? Well, whatever. Josiah did a video on him leaving Hollywood, and the guy fucking died. So the whole point of leaving Hollywood is the day you die. It's an inside joke. I was so proud of it. I was laughing at it. I'm like, I'm the only one who's going to get this. Maybe Josiah will get this if he sees it.
That's crazy.
Till the day we leave Hollywood.
The one great thing about that panel, which you can actually watch on, it was posted. Where was it posted? Some random small channel with very few subs posted the full panel. But we finally learned what a Crowder means.
Oh, we did. You want to repeat? You want to tell the audience what a Crowder is?
I'm not sure if I want to. It's a pretty vile joke, but I was gonna say it on. I have to thank like Garrett and Dave Landau. They had me on Normal World, flew me out there, took care of me.
You're gonna say it on Normal World?
I was gonna say it on Normal World,
I'd have
but
said
it didn't organically happen. You know what I mean? It's got to be organic. And I was just like, well, Garrett's being interviewed. People are asking Garrett questions. And I said, well, I have a question for Garrett. I said, can you confirm that two men trying to enter the same hole is called a Crowder? I heard it on Urban Dictionary.
Oh my God. This is only my second time hearing it. It's still like, wow.
I couldn't believe you said that at the panel. And I'm like,
It's all
that is a Nick Rekieta, camel. Like, not you, Chris. Frank.
Yeah.
That's a Frank joke.
That's a Frank joke. That's Frank Gore.
Frank Gore joke. But no, but it was fun actually meeting Nick Rekieta. He wants to have me on a show. Because I was just
Nick's a
talking
lovely
about
guy.
all the lawyer BS I've had to deal with over the years and legal people that I have known, and I've got some good stories that would probably appeal to his audience. So.
Nick is a lovely guy, and he coordinated the event. And thank you, Nick, for doing that. I really appreciate it. And Anime Matsuri took care of us, man. They comped our room, and our room was like at the hotel, attached to the con. It's very easy to get in and out. Which, screw it, Chris. If we go to Comic-Con next year, we're staying at the what is it? The Marriott or the Hilton? The one that's right next door. The one where you like to hang out in the bar.
Yeah,
whatever hotel that is, that's where we're staying.
Yeah. It's just for convenience. Like, I got to go to the room and grab something or whatever. I like the Airbnbs are good, but like being directly next to the event you're at and just being able to walk, not dealing with Uber or parking. You're just, once you're there, you're there. I love it. So that's you pay a premium, but worth it.
Yeah.
So
Smooth DJ for 20 euros. Smooth, it was great meeting you, man. Hail Gary, Chris, and Extra Agu. Was great seeing you at Matsuri. Had a great time. Definitely won't be my last meetup. I'll be seeing y'all soon. Definitely in chat. Go tit and hail the fellowship from the German wrench. Hail Smooth. Got a lot of work to do for that next meetup. Shad is already in the UK, right? Like he's there. Yep. Shad, if you're out there, hope everything's going well. Love you, buddy. Butter Biscuit 92. What's up, Butter Biscuit on the Streamlabs side for $20. Gary, you are one of the most unintentional funny guys I know. I'll never forget a couple of years ago when you went live and you were just vaping on screen for almost 10 minutes and then cussed when you realized you were live. Sad I missed it yesterday. Yeah, I was telling X-Ray Girl, I'm like, this is like the 20th time it's happened. Like it's not a new thing. It used to happen all the time. Yesterday I was recording a video and I have I don't know if I can hold it up. You can see it. But I've got my little stream deck. Record button, stream button. And sometimes I try to keep them on the opposite side, but sometimes I hit it. And it started streaming. Now, we're not supposed to have this. The stream keys aren't supposed to be active. I don't know how this one was active. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, you got to see my intense video process, which is staring at the screen for about a half an hour and vaping, trying to figure out what the fuck I'm going to say. and then delivering the line about 40 times, right? Until I get it right. And I still don't get it right. Like Garrett just shot me back. He's like, dude, you fucked up on this one. I called Stephen Amell Robbie Amell for some reason. What's the difference?
They do look very similar, though.
They do. Because Stephen Amell had to take the walk of shame after calling out SAG. That girl, Elena, who wrote that article, Chris, she came dangerously close to saying, or it could be interpreted in the first paragraph, right? As saying the timing of the strike was bad. It's like, ooh, you're not supposed to do that. By the way, for any fucking scooper out there who's trying to make casting announcements or Rachel Zegler going out there and putting out an apology, I don't think she can do that. I don't think she can reference a fucking movie, even in response to fans. They are not supposed to talk about their movies at all. They are not supposed to go to casting. They can't do anything. Their fucking unions are preventing them from making money. I agree with Eric July. Unions are gay. I want no part of them, but they exist. They exist. If you want to work under that structure, it's a free country. Go ahead. I think it's one of the dumbest things because it takes away your power of negotiation. And all this shit I'm reading, Chris, about the strike, it's like you guys didn't ask these questions before you signed a contract. Like I would, Chris, for example, say I'm going to work for Apple. I'm going to go make a show for Apple. And they offer me a bunch of money up front. And they even admit, we're overpaying you because we're not going to give you back end stuff. And I would say, okay, what if we didn't overpay me? And what would the potential back end residual be? I would ask that question. Like, how do you measure the data? How do you measure I would get paid? They didn't ask these questions. They just went, okay. And then 3 years later, regretted all the deals. I mean, that is typical entitled, dumb Hollywood actor.
Yeah.
Like, your agent didn't ask that question. You didn't ask that question. You know, I asked those questions when I was working for fucking Tesla. I asked every question I possibly could about how I'm getting paid, when I'm getting paid, what do I get, because I was partially commissioned. What exactly is my commission? Is there variable commission? Is there some things I don't get commission on? Like, everything. Ask a lot of questions. Don't be all, you duped me because I signed a deal and I didn't ask any questions. You know, it's fucking crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy. It makes no sense. But that's Hollywood. And yeah, you'll just see in my video, like, this girl worked on a show. I was shocked when I heard from the WGA guy. I suspected it. And then I learned it from a showrunner and another showrunner when they said, oh, yeah, we don't know what the numbers are. You know, our executive producer is privy to the numbers, and they'll say they're good or bad, but they won't say what they exactly are. It's because they're all bad, by the way. They're all really low. Red Mage, is that? What's XIII?
13.
13th. Okay. So the X is a 10 and the III is, okay, I got it. Chris got my signed physical copy of Attack of the Dock in the mail today. Many thanks to you, man. He's off getting coffee, but he says you're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to get coffee.
Go get coffee. Go get coffee. Chris brought 50 copies of Attack of the Dock, and I believe came very close to selling out.
Wow.
Ken Hagen for $19.99. Hollywood Apocalypse Doom Loop would be a good band name. It would be. I added Doom Loop. El Dorado for $20 on the Streamlabs side. Heads up to Chris Gore and Gary. Barnes & Noble is doing 50% off deal for Arrow Video. Oh, shit. Really? Really? I might have to go there tonight. I picked up some 4K American Werewolf in London. Already got it. And some Shaw Scope. Highly recommend 8 Diagram Pole Fighter to the chat if you haven't seen it. I'll have to check that out. My Barnes & Noble close to me is pretty good. It's got a pretty good selection of the 4K and the Arrow stuff. Buford T. Justice for $49.99. Gary, I keep hearing you say intersectional feminism isn't woke. They're two different things, yeah. But they're under the same umbrella. But modern feminism is born of the same critical theory ideology as critical race theory, orientation from the Marxist Frankfurt School. Modern feminism is just critical gender theory, yes. But it has its own term. Like, woke essentially is critical race theory. One is critical feminism theory, pretty much, or gender theory. You're right. But I use it as woke. I mean, like, if somebody can have a nice short word that's about 4 letters long, that means intersectional feminism, that isn't woke, I'll use it. But we haven't decided on that yet, so woke will have to do. Woke will have to do. Thank you, Buford. High Frequency Productions, $19.99. Hey, Gary, where does Back to the Future fall in your pantheon of trilogies? Agreed on Lord of the Rings, but Disney really killed Star Wars for me. Back to the Future still makes me happy every time. I would say, it's top 4. Okay. Lord of the Rings is number 1. And for me, Indiana Jones is number 2. Be tough to pick the original trilogy and Back to the Future. I'd have to edge out the original trilogy over Back to the Future. But those are 4 like really great trilogies that are all fun. And if one is number 1 over another, I'm not gonna, except for Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is just better than all of them. But they're all great. They're all great. And I own the back. I love Back to the Future. And I think it will remain sacred, actually. Matthew Vaccine for 50 Canadian pesos. We know society is broken when most women want to become OnlyFans models. OnlyFans and websites like the have broken society, and I know because I am trying to get away from that stuff myself. That's my addiction, and that's why I'm trying to fight, and that's good. So one of the articles that you went over in your film thread video, I'm going to link Robert Meyer Burnett's stream, by the way, and Film Threats video that both inspired my video in the description, because that's what I do. Because I try to give, like, if somebody inspired one of my videos from an article, I try to give them at least a link, okay? I think it's just the right thing to do. So one of the things they mentioned is there is no counterculture. Bullshit. There's a massive counterculture. There always has been. It's just the former counterculture has become cancel culture or system culture or corporate culture. And they still think they're counterculture, but they're not. We're counterculture. And part of the counterculture is people trying to break away from porn, traditional relationships. Part of the Christians are part of counterculture right now.
Which is wild.
But yeah, it's just different. It's people not getting tattoos, you know. It's the pendulum swinging back. I can't wait, Chris. We talked about this when we were at the bar. One of the nights we were at the bar. I can't wait for the analog generation, because it'll come. It'll absolutely.
Not just that, it's just so much stuff from the past is great. You know, when it comes to music, movies, little anecdotal thing. On Monday, I went to see a screening of Coraline. Not sure if you like that movie.
I like Coraline.
It's a good movie.
I like the Leica stop motion animated films. I really like those a lot. Kubo and the Two Strings and Coraline. So I'm going to this. I'm like, I love stop motion animation. You know, it's such an underappreciated art. I'm like, I'm going to go see this afternoon screening. It was one of those Fathom events things. You know, you have to pay to see it. It's not part of A-list. I went to see it. The theater was packed. It was a 4 p.m. screening. The theater was packed. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh, and, you know, look, I'm a little older. I'm looking around the room, and it's like a lot of younger people, both men and women, going to see this movie who probably didn't see the movie in its initial theatrical run, which was more than 10 years ago. I got a press release from Fathom Events. This movie made $5 million in 2 days at these special screenings.
That's awesome.
$5 million would be good for a Thursday opening for a film.
Yeah, it would.
$5 million in 2 days. That's crazy. And this is why I think if there is like a huge gap in content coming to theaters, they're just going to start to release classic films that people who didn't get to see them in first run will get to see. That is a staggering figure.
It'll be awesome. Just a good print or good digital copy of, like, Nightmare Before Christmas. Just release that. Go from Halloween to fucking to Christmas, and it'll do well.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I agree. There's certain films you could re-release. Warner Brothers, how about all 3 extended Lord of the Rings editions in theaters, say maybe around December 18th of this year, the 20th anniversary of Return of the King?
Oh, that'd be so excited if they did that.
Because you totally fucking missed the boat the last 2 years because you're morons. Somebody get me Warner Brothers. Get me Zaslav on the phone. X-Ray Girl, do it right now. I'll call him right now and go, dude, you want to make a few extra $1 million? Maybe $100 million, maybe more? Release all 3 special editions, maybe a little intro from Peter Jackson, maybe a new one, you know, and just make money. And, like, there's really nothing coming out this December. Like, I think it would.
They should do that with a lot of the trilogies that we even just mentioned. I would love to go to the theaters to watch all of them.
You're with me, right, chat? We want all 3 special editions, maybe a little intro from Peter Jackson. I'll pay big money for that. Let's fucking go. Let's do this, because nothing's come out in December. What's coming out in December? Rebel Moon. That's going to be on Netflix. Don't really care. Don't really care. I think it would destroy everything. Chris, would you go?
Oh, hell yeah. everything that you described, like that, like extended edition trilogy. I think what you do is you do it like, every week on whatever night. It's like that is the night where they're going to show it. And then you include even like maybe some new intro by Peter Jackson or something, you know what I mean?
Actors, even.
Or the actors, I mean, and also what's amazing about those films is not only that the films turned out so well because I was not, I love the cartoons when I was a kid, The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings animated when I love those, but I wasn't like, still to this day, I've never read the books, but I became a fan of those movies. What's amazing about those films is the behind the scenes of making those films is so heartwarming. The fact that like Peter Jackson brought them all to New Zealand, everyone became friends. There wasn't like this crazy story of people. They all were friends after the fact.
They're still friends bonded to this day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're bonded by this experience of making this. That's an important thing that a director can do. And part of the reason I think they turned out so well is because Peter Jackson made them away from Hollywood, away from the influence, away from all the hangers-on and the like just morons and people giving bad advice. Like, I'm in New Zealand. If you want to come here, it's 14 hours. I got to go once when I was working for G4, but I was there to do the junket for the Rise of the Planet of the Apes Blu-ray release. It was, I didn't give a shit. I got to go to New Zealand and I got to go to the Weta gift shop, which was insane.
Oh, I wish I could go to the Weta. I'm going to go there someday. I'm going to get in a little metal tube and fly it there for 14 hours. Going to do it. No, I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's a no fucking brainer. And I would start promoting it now. Like right now, we got 20th anniversary. Maybe do a special one in New Zealand where you have Peter Jackson there, or you could do it around the States and have certain actors show up for a Q&A. I don't know, or just show the fucking movies. In the best prints, best form, best digital, whatever you can fucking do. Even if it's I think Fellowship was 35 millimeter. I can't even remember. It was not digital. First one wasn't digital. Wasn't shot digital. It was shot on film. So.
Interestingly, Coraline was an updated version in 4K. It looked stunning. And they had a little like extra like 10, 15 minute making of behind the scenes where they brought out the models, but it was after years that they've been in storage, and did this new video where they showed how the models worked and whatnot. I have friends who work at Robot Chicken, and I just always loved stop motion animation. I used to make stop motion animated movies when I was a kid, when I was like 9, 10 years old.
Yeah,
I had a little Canon Super 8 camera I got for Christmas, and I made Super 8 movies and stop motion
with action figures or your friends. Yeah. Remember did you ever do the race car where you didn't have a car, you were just sitting down and you just have them scoot up every frame?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
did that shit all day long. I even had a video camera that shot per frame, right? So you could do the same thing back in the day. Oh, yeah. I did the same shit. Jose for $4.99 says, rent out the Alamo Draft House for San Antonio meetup and watch The Lord of the Rings together. It's not expensive and we can order food. Let's do it. If they'll let me get the 3, I'll look into it today. Fuck it, I'll do it. We'll do it live. Shauna Bass for $20 says, Gary and Chris, it was awesome to meet you and the crew at Matsuri. My hub and I talked with other nerds at the bar, and it really felt like we found our crowd. There were even other women. The 9% is strong. We need shirts. We're working on it. We're working on, Jeremy over at Geeks Gamers, who, of course, they have the 199, and I have the 9.9, okay, which is the ladies of Nerdrotic. Apparently, there's a couple of you, even though I hate women.
According to the internet.
Vapor Trails 818 Streamlabs for $10 says, as soon as it becomes possible for independents to use CGI, Hollywood is over. Yeah. And then like the CGI will be one that can work without you supervising it. An AI form of CGI where it's like, here, I'm going to build this background for me. I'm going to walk away for a couple hours while you render it. Like that shit, that's going to change everything. And yes, then a kid in his room will be able to make a Blade Runner movie in our lifetime, very soon. I would say next 10 years, Chris Gore. I'd say next 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't think that's. It might be shorter than that, to be honest with you. Hollywood will just have to work. Actually, it could help Hollywood if they embrace the change. They're not embracing the change. They're trying to hold on to 20th century models. And this is why people like Chris Gore, who produce an independent magazine that goes on, that decided to stop printing it, putting it online. He changed with the technology. That's why he's still around. He didn't have to rely on a corporation. He's just like, I'll fucking do it. That's the best part. The best part of entrepreneurship is that, like, when I was running the comic shop, I didn't need to be rich. I needed to make enough money to live. I was really fucking happy with my freedom, and you can't put a price on that. But I was never going to be rich. But I tried. I really did. And the same goes for this channel, right? I do stuff that makes me happy. I do stuff I'm interested in, and I don't want to be. I don't want any strings attached with any sponsors or fucking what are they, whales? What are they called, whales or unicorns? Whatever the fuck they're called, the people who finance you quietly. I don't want any of that shit. I don't, because you can't put a price on freedom. Waking up when the fuck I want, working as late as I want. Last night, one day I'll take off. Yesterday, I'm air quotes working. It's not working. I was 16 hours on this video, 16 hours, and Garrett's putting in probably just that much too. But we can also chill out today. I can chill out whenever I want. So you can't put a price on being independent. It's fucking awesome. It's scary, but you get over that over time. You get over that.
You get used to it.
You hit the nail on the head. I am happier now than I was when I was making a lot more money because I am in control of my own destiny. That's it. I'm in control of my own destiny. I decide what my value is because I could work harder. I could work 14, 16-hour days and make more money. But that doesn't mean I'll be happier. And also, I've learned, I learned this early on, just live below your means.
Yeah.
If you can afford, just live below your means. So when something happens, because you get hit with things, I got to get new tires for the car, I got to do this thing, rent went up, whatever. I just roll with the punches, and I just try to not be an idiot when it comes to finances. I don't know. So yeah, I'm probably happier than I've ever been, just being able to do whatever the heck I want. And I'm deciding like what my next, I have a film that I've finished that needs to be finished. And then I'm just deciding what my next project's going to be. And it's fun.
Dude, you live a hell of a life. You go to a movie almost every day. You hang out with a bunch of really fucking cool people who I've got to meet, including our buddy Paulie out there. I love Paulie. And you got a good group of friends. They're nice guys, honorable guys and gals, and you live a good life, and you earned it. We're starting to sound like Dadosphere here. So Dadosphere is don't spend more money than you make more money than you spend, live within your means, don't buy a new car off the lot. Basic dad shit.
Even better, live below your means. I am. You know what? I'm not going to say I'm a great cook, but I know how to cook. It's a skill that is useful, and I know how to do like basic household repairs.
Don't go out to dinner.
Learn how to do things yourself.
Don't go out to dinner every night. Go grocery shopping
within your means. Don't try to do plumbing or electric.
Go to the grocery. You know what? You can go to the cheap, like Food for Less. That's where I went forever. That was considered
if you go to the no name, no value or whatever, buy canned food and all that sort of stuff, the dry food.
I fucking love Food for Less. Now that I'm a grown up, I can go to places like HEB and it's like heaven.
Oh, there you go.
I get happy when I walk in there and just like, I love this place. You got to see it someday. No, you're right, Chris. And you can't put a price on freedom. Money cannot buy everything. It's really fucking nice to have though. And I'll never forget what my pops told me. He's like, you know what, kid, you're probably not going to get your, well, I mean, he was being realistic with me too. He's like, you're probably not going to get your dream job. You're not going to become Spider-Man. But what you can do is find a job you at least like and enjoy. Don't take a job just to take a job. Find something you actually kind of enjoy. It doesn't have to be something you love. But, you know, you're going to spend a lot of time there, so make sure you at least like it, like the people there. It was good advice. It was good advice. You know, my auto parts job, it wasn't a dream job, but I actually liked it. I actually had tons of fun. It was a fun job. So
even when Gary, I 100% agree with you. Even when I've had a job I didn't like, I did the job and I cared. Yeah. I cared about it because I take pride in my work and I genuinely like people. So when I'm, you know, I'm there to help out. I don't know. That has been lost everywhere I go. It's unbelievable how bad customer service is.
Oh, it's so bad.
And this whole, like, I'm going to flip around a screen and here you got a tip for this. Fuck that. Like, if you just, Dodger Stadium, by the way, does not take cash. The entire stadium is cashless.
What?
Someone just hands me a White Claw, which I'm embarrassed to admit, or a Truly, and they flip the screen around. You just handed it to me. Now, I will tip 20% plus.
Wait, you're
when
admitting
I go to restaurants.
I want you to continue what you're saying, but you're admitting to drinking a White Claw?
Fine. Roast me in the...
So long, gay boys!
Well, X-Ray Girl knows what I'm talking about because when we were in Dallas, when she asked me to pick up some hard seltzer, I did exactly what X-Ray Girl asked me to do. And then we had fun that night. It was great.
We had lots of fun.
Yeah.
It was
no, the girls like White Claw.
Well, there you go.
And same with Frank Gore.
All I'm saying is I wasn't drinking like old fashions or, you know, bourbon like the drinker.
It's also easy to carry versus like a cup full of beer.
He was drinking manly drinks. You know.
Yes, he was.
Rick Johnson for $5 says, "Hey, Chris and Gary." That's all. Hey, Rick. How's it going?
Hey.
Thanks for coming in. Orthworm Jeb. Is it supposed to be Earthworm Jeb or
no,
Orthworm?
It's Orthworm.
Okay. Thanks again for the panel and autograph from last week's Anime Matsuri. You are welcome. Oh, is that I signed Eric July's comic books. I felt weird doing it, but I'm like, are your books?
Oh.
I don't think Eric will give a shit because you paid for him. So that's all he gives a shit about. He's grateful, but I don't think he cares who signs them. But yeah, I signed the books, and then I said I am responsible for all of this. Because Eric came on Friday Night Tights. All of his success, me, by the way. It's all me. Right. T1S for $5. Hey, Gary, saw your impromptu stream yesterday where you went from maximum over boomer. Good stuff. Hell, cheers. I'm sure that'll happen again. Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't even bothered by it in the least. I'm like, oh, shit, that happened again. Oh, well. It's got to roll with it. The memes are going to fly. This is the internet. The guy said, one guy said on Twitter, he's like, I was hoping to catch you picking your nose, but I'll take vaping. And I'm like, oh, you just missed it. You know? And then another guy put up DSP and said, oh, the camera's on. And I'm all, that's exactly why I'm vaping. Hey, Gary, just checking if you meant to go live right now. Is this from yesterday?
No, it's a membership today.
No, it was a total accident. Camera's on. Shit. Malik Gurley for $5. Great to see you at Matsuri again. Gary, also, to see you for the first time. Chris was really great. X-Ray, nice to see you. You still have your job. Yeah. She's lucky I can't do math. Gone. I did make some pretty horrible jokes about you yesterday, though. They were funny.
I heard afterwards. I went to your stream and I watched it with the chat, and I was just like, "Wow!" So this is what happens on the other weeks.
Yeah. Toxic Masculinity 619, 2 parts for $15 says, "Did you hear last week? The great Rusty Shackelford died. He's throwing pocket sand at angels." I sent a super chat that was unclear. A friend of mine, the older than your dad, worked for the Oakland Tribune when Disney died, argued with his mom saying Disney was a pedo. He thinks his dad heard something there. Have you heard anything like that? No, haven't heard anything of Disney being a pedo. Not at all. Were there pedos in Hollywood back then? Yes. Oh, yes. Getting away with it openly. But I don't think Disney was one of them. I think Disney, was just an animator who got really rich and kind of a visionary. Probably wasn't a perfect human being, but who was and really came out against the commies. Didn't like commies. That's a likable aspect of Walt. Was laughing at X-Ray Girl stream. BBC takeover moment. LOL earlier. Haha, much love. Says Roger Rubio for $5. When we went in, like, what are you doing?
I was just so confused. Like, why is my chat flying right now?
JWT6577 radicalized. But Grace said Blue Beetle was good. Grace
Randolph?
Grace Randolph has some of the worst. Listen, the one thing in common with a lot of the early critics is I'm not going to go out and say they don't know anything about film. I can't go out and say that. Or maybe about one. But I can say that to be a good critic, you have to have good taste. Now, that doesn't mean you always have to agree with my taste. I think there's basic fixed points in creativity that point to if somebody has good taste. And there has to be a combination of a few. It doesn't have to be agreeing on everything. Like, for example, The Godfather. Whether you like it or not, you have to admit it's a classic American film and one of the greatest films ever made. Period. You got to like any combination of Jaws, Blade Runner, The Godfather, Star Wars, and then we can get into more of the artsy like Scorsese films, Kurosawa films. I think maybe there's a list of 100 out there, and if you like a combination of 25% of them, you might have good taste. There's some people who just have fucking bad taste, and that's fine if they like what you like. But as far as recommendations, I wouldn't take their recommendation to the bathroom. But they can certainly go out and say what they want. I give Grace a hard time because she's a bimbo. She's like a legit bimbo, not like a fake one like Brittany Venti. Sorry to blow your cover there, Brittany, but Brittany's pretty smart. Phoenix Tangent for $10. Hail Gary and Chris and our boss lady. Chris, thanks for taking a picture with me and my Pikachu-loving boy at Anime Matsuri. Next time you get out here, you ought to have a bowl of late-night pho. Do you like pho, Chris?
Hell yeah.
I don't like pho.
Let's pho it up. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, and it was good. I met so many cool people. It was just fun to like chat with like-minded nerds. The one thing I'm bummed I really didn't get to walk around the con very much.
No, I didn't either.
Because there was like, they had like a Godzilla thing in the middle. I took some pictures there, but like I would have liked to have like gone. Now I'm probably not going to buy a lot of stuff, but I didn't even get to go to the adults only section that everybody was talking.
I wanted to go to the vintage video game section. I might have bought something there because I heard that was like the best booth at the place. So, I can't spend any money anyway.
Bummed.
I cannot spend any money. Not for like 3 more months. I did get a golem. I should show it off. I got a golem 1/6 scale. It looks great. He's anatomically accurate, though. He's got a dick.
Oh.
Really?
And I sent as a dick pic. I'm like, dick pic?
Oh, my God.
But he's got a freaking dick. I'm like, what?
Wonder
what
if he's a shower or a grower.
I didn't need that. I don't know. It's not a shower. No. I'm thinking golem might be a grower. It looks like he just got out of the really cold water. We'll just say that.
Yeah. He only wears a loincloth, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you didn't do that with Eowyn, I checked. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
I think they did. I didn't check, to be honest with you. I got a Red Sonya figure. I think they might have gone full detail with that one too. Matt317 on the Streamlabs side for $5. Hey guys, happy to see you all at Anime Matsuri. It was a really fun weekend. I highly recommend watching Shin Kamen Rider listed as Shin Master Rider on Amazon. It's a good action movie, respects its source material, and better than any current U.S. superhero films. I will check it out, Matt. Hail, Matt. Thanks for being a member forever.
Yes, I'm aware of that film. I've seen the trailer. It looks so good. It's like this series of Shin movies. There's Shin Ultraman, which I've seen, Shin Godzilla, which I've also seen, and I have on digital. It's like what they've done is they've taken these classic, older monster and, genre films from Japan, and they've done like a more serious, updated, modern version, but they haven't ruined it. They've upgraded the effects, and the story is a bit more serious. It's sort of comparing the Adam West Batman to the Christian Bale Batman. That's kind of what to say. Like Shin Godzilla is freaking dark. It's like, what would really happen if a giant radioactive lizard attacked Japan? And it shows all the behind the scenes of like disaster relief and like how things would, it's almost parts of it are kind of boring. I mean, in a good way, in the sense that they treat the source material seriously. Whereas like the earlier Godzilla films, like when Godzilla became friend to children, that was just weird.
I know.
but the Shin series of movies, just look up the trailers for Shin Ultraman.
Well, I've seen Shin Godzilla. Yeah.
They're really good films.
Good.
I didn't get to see Shin Kamen Rider. It was actually in theaters, and for some reason I was busy. But definitely worth checking out all that whole series.
Absolutely.
I've really enjoyed it.
Well, this week I'm gonna check out that animated movie you wanted me to check out.
Spine of Night, dude. Gary. Okay,
I'm doing Spine of Night tonight. Okay, I'm doing it tonight.
After. I want to hear what you think.
I'll call you. I'll call you.
Well, I'll be at the movies. I'm going to
I'll
see
text you.
Strays tonight.
Oh, well, you'll I'm up late. Oh wait, you're on Pacific time.
Whatever. Just tell me what you thought.
You'll be up. Yeah, I'll tell you what I thought. I will.
I'm dying to hear your take on it. And the thing is this, I know Pat Oswalt's in the movie, and he's sort of he's one of those insufferable celebrities that, hates half the country. And I used to like him when he was like this struggling comedian guy who was getting bit parts and things. And then he just got mean, unnecessarily mean and unfunny.
Yeah. Because he's kind of a fake ass POS. I got a behind the scenes story someday. Yeah.
So he's in the movie, does a voice, but his character,
I can get past it. Like I can still watch the season 1 of Happy. Did you ever watch Happy?
Oh God.
It's based on a comic book. Yeah, it was on Sci-Fi. And the first season is based on the comic book. Second season goes off comic book. It gets canceled, but the first season's really good.
Okay.
And it's he voices Happy, who's an imaginary character of a girl who comes to life and seeks out a hitman to save her from a child abductor.
Huh.
But this hitman's like a former cop and drug addicted and stuff, but it gives him a little purpose in life, And we find out why. It's a brutal comic. I'm in it. I'm in issue 2, getting stabbed in the mouth with a scalpel. Dave Chandler for $10 says, glad to become a member. Cheers. Gary, the Wizard, X-Ray Girl, and FNT Invariably.
Invariably.
I almost said it right, and then I had a stroke.
So close.
Make my week better. Shout out to Chris Gore. This is our culture. You're right. Sorry, I had to get up camera because I'm getting feeling back in my face.
Oh wow.
Fuck.
Do you want me to read?
Oh no.
Does
it feel like you got punched in the face?
It does. It does. And what's worse is while they were working on me, I bit my tongue while it was all numb.
Oh.
So I'm feeling that too.
Sucks.
I'll be back on camera in a second. I'm just kind of trying to master my pain. Carnal $10 says, hail Gary, X-Ray Girl and Chris Gore. I'd also be in favor if you'd all get Danica the 19th, right? Comic Book Girl 19 on FNT. However, I think it would be more ecstatic if you were to have her on a Nooner with her, Chris, and the great R&B. I'm open to that. If she wants to come on like a more mellow show, let's do it with Chris.
Yeah, you should start the conversation. I mean, I know she knows you guys, but like I said, you need to watch FNT because it's different. But she, just knowing her through the years, I mean, she used to hang out with like Schnepp because Schnepp would have her on for, the Collider Heroes thing.
Well, you know what? Let's shoot for getting her on a nooner, and then when Dune 2 comes out and we do our Dune 2 review, I would love to have her on FNT.
Oh, you gotta have
to
her on
review Dune.
episode. She, in fact, I told her, I said, if I have a +1 and I'm seeing Dune early, you're my +1, because there's no bigger Dune fan than her.
No, there isn't.
There's a Dune book club that is amazing.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I remember when that started.
Yeah.
Many moons ago. Fiera Samra for $5. Chris, have you seen Phil Tippett's Mad God stop motion movie on Shudder?
I've seen it. I saw it early before it was even on Shudder because it was playing film festivals. I tried to get Phil Tippett on the show. It just didn't work out timing wise. But that movie is freaking weird. He spent 30 years working on that film. It was like this side project. And it's a lot of it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like, oh, okay. But I like stuff like that. Like, one of my favorite stop motion, maybe someone in the audience knows, the Brothers Quay. Look up Quay, the Brothers Quay. They're like these Polish directors that make weird stop motion movies out of junk, and it is effed up.
That's awesome.
They're great. Yeah.
Harryhausen, man. That's what I grew up on. So the king of stop motion.
Yes.
And all the Sinbad movies, Jason and the Argonauts, all that shit. That's my jam. What I think is happening is that Disney, Barbie, and all the other brands are no longer being family or girl-oriented brands, but have become the unfulfilled female brand, says Ian Carroll's for $9.99. I think the difference fundamentally between Barbie and, like, let's say Marvel is Barbie is a girl's brand. Disney, I can't even say it's a girl's brand anymore. But it was a girl's brand, and they bought Marvel and Star Wars to not be a girl's brand, but they tried to turn them into girls' brands, which they are not. Even the girls who like them will know they're not girls' brands. Doesn't mean girls can't like them, but they're focused on boys. Vast majority still support it. It's not even close. It's not even fucking close. So you're forcing a square peg into a round hole. Barbie's a girl's brand. You can do that kind of, and it works. And it can sit there and succeed all at once. It makes no fucking difference. For the people who say, for the idiots who say that the get woke, go broke argument is dead because of Barbie, bullshit. I give you Barbie as an example, and Oppenheimer are both doing really good right now. Did they erase all the failures we've had over the last 3 years? Is Hollywood not in a death spiral right now? Are people who are working in Hollywood not calling it a Hollywood apocalypse? Is it not the best example of get woke, go broke there is out there? Barbie does not erase the argument. It makes it worse. It makes it worse. Get fucking real. Green-haired anti-liberal Chiloja. It was nice to see. We met her.
We were hanging out at Anime Matsuri.
Yeah.
Hey,
was
I
great.
didn't recognize her not in the green hair.
Right. Hail. It was so great seeing you and Chris at Matsuri. Gary, Chris, next meetup. I need to buy you a drink. Meant to do it at the Nerd Bar, but got distracted. There you go. She owes you a drink. Hey, it was great seeing you and your fam. Got to meet your ma. Liam Smith for $1.99. Chris, I again saw Coraline and enjoyed it more.
I did as well. Like, that movie has aged well. It's a classic story, just about, relating to your parents. It's also like not like it's not like a little kids movie. There are deeper layers to it. So Neil Gaiman, I think he can be mixed on stuff, but I've liked a lot of things. Like, I don't know if you ever saw his movie, How to Talk to Girls at Parties. Did you ever see that?
I've heard of it. I did not see it.
Oh, dude, you would love How to Talk to Girls at Parties. Add that to your list. And tell Ms. Nerdrotic to add that to her list of movies to download. It's freaking awesome. It's based on a short story about these punk girls that are aliens from another planet. How to Talk to Girls at Parties. But Neil Gaiman, like, in fact, I interviewed him when I was at G4 about Coraline, and he remembered that I hated the film Mirror Mask, which I thought was like a girl film. He also wrote that. And then when I interviewed, we had a conversation because he read Film Threat. He used to read Film Threat in the 90s. So he seemed like real upfront and just whatever, you didn't like that one, but I've made some things you like, made some things you didn't like.
There you go.
So,
well, that's a good attitude to take. People are going to like everything you make. Okay.
Exactly. That's fair. So I feel the same way about myself. It's just like whatever, you like some stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah, Coraline, it really, the 4K, it just looked great.
I don't buy that they are dumb anymore. This is all about destroying male fandom and norms like they've done to family education. They've got ESG shekels subsidizing them, says Pablo Papano for $10. They use a lot of useful idiots, Pablo, but the people who are indeed manipulating the situation, and it's not all, hands with strings. It is using useful idiots and using opportunities to manipulate the situation. No, those people are not dumb. They know exactly what they're doing. DCG for $6.99. Alberta News and Views is a YouTube channel. He does Canadian conservative political videos. He's like a unicorn. Wow. No, hail Canada. I hope you're saved someday. Ryan Guy, radicalized. Scan me into the cult, Gary. And then there's a scanner. Okay, you're in. You're in. Because I'm super highly organized. That will be a good member-only stream idea, says Ferrer Samra for $2. What's that?
Oh, I had it in my head, but I totally forgot. Sorry, Ferrer.
We'll remember it, and please note that down. I need ideas for member streams. Yeah, Dave Chandler for $10. Think about the context of Snow White and when it was released in the middle of the Great Depression. The movie was an astounding artistic achievement that brought much needed joy and relief to many. Yep. Hollywood just does not recognize this. The country's not in a good way right now, and instead of being what they could be is a uniter, they decided to become a divider. Lynn Jones for $5. I'm a woman and I watch your show. Kind of like calling your mom a simp. I know, but I don't watch when I do watch whenever I can.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn. Hold, please.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I don't know if Gary's okay.
Getting tacos or
tacos when your mouth hurts though. Oh
yeah,
no.
Okay, definitely not tacos. But I predict it's like coffee or tea or just something. I don't. That's my prediction.
I don't know. I can read some of these.
Yeah, read them.
Okay, we got Dave Chandler. Welcome to the radicalized level. Got Forever Sci-Fi radicalized says it's not a strike, it's a reprieve for us.
Oh my God, yeah.
In a lot of ways, yes. Tim France on the radicalized level says, "Hail Gary, hail Frank Gore, hail X-Ray Girl, hail to you." Here, we got one here for you. Nemirovsky for $4.99 says, "Chris, what's the plan for Dragon Con? Any plans for a booth and meetup?"
I don't know. I talked to my buddy Shane Mackey, who's a comedian. That's what I'm rooming with, and we have no plans. I am gonna bring some cosplay. I have an accurate Mr. Fantastic costume I may bring. And then I don't know. I gotta think about doing a meetup. Maybe I'll do a meetup. Like I'll be here on Saturday at a certain time. And someone was asking me if I was going to bring Blu-rays. I'll bring a minimum amount and I'll sell you one if you see me. But yeah, it's usually just us walking through the hotels, drinking and hanging out.
Having fun.
Yeah, having fun. So I will post on my social media. Follow me at that Chris Gore on Twitter, Instagram. I will post details about some kind of meetup, probably on Friday or Saturday. Yes, I will come up with something and I'll make it real easy. So yeah, I love Dragon Con. Dragon Con is just like party con. It's party, and it is the best cosplay you will ever see. Group
Mr.
cosplay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, I have a Mr. Fantastic costume where the arms stretch.
Oh, really? I mean,
Yeah.
I thought your best cosplay was Slave Leia.
Well, every woman says that. But no, I've got the one I really want to do, which is kind of weird, is Bruce Banner, but after he's the Hulk. So it's the next day with tattered clothes and tattered, and I'm wearing glasses. But I always would love that. Like remember those old like Marvel animated from the 60s, Gary? And they would animate the actual art, the Jack Kirby art. It was limited animation, but they were really good radio plays. So they would show Bruce Banner like, it's like he's woke up from like a drunk stupor. He was the Hulk last night, doesn't remember anything. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He wakes up and he's like, he has purple stretched out pants. I always love that. So
breaking news, Mark Millar has gotten back the rights to Kick-Ass, the movie.
What?
To distribute the movie. He says, interestingly, Matthew Vaughn was on the phone this morning and mentioned that the Kick-Ass film rights have just come back to us. We're both busy elsewhere at the moment, but we'll see down the line.
Wow.
That's huge.
There you go. Okay. Chris, you got to take off.
Yep, I got to go. But I want to say, always love a nooner hanging out with you both.
Hell yeah.
Love it. Had a blast at Anime Matsuri. I cannot thank you enough, Gary, for your generosity. And I got a little chunk of the table to be able to sell my DVDs and meet so many cool people and hanging out with Mrs. Nerdrotic. You are a lucky man. That's all. It's you. I know you know that, and that's important. So she's amazing. She is fucking cool, badass.
Cheers. Yes, she is.
And just everybody. It was like so much fun. Nick Ricada, never met in person. The Drinker, like Camelot. It was weird seeing him with a shirt on. And just everybody.
Like the shortest shorts on, though. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh my god. He's
Daisy
definitely
Dukes.
got himbo vibes, but in a good way. He's a good dude. And then just everyone I met, Ashton Birdie, all the Simpcast ladies, Lila Hart, Chrissy Mayer on fire. Love her. Her comedy show is great. I feel like I'm getting an award. All I'm doing is saying how much
thank you to everyone.
How much I appreciate everybody. The other thing is, it's weird coming back to California because the minute I got off the plane, I'm like, okay, I'm not in Texas anymore. But the minute I got the plane, I'm like, I saw like this attractive woman wearing a mask. It's like, all right, wear a mask, your choice. Then I realized, oh, that's not a woman. And I was back in California.
Yep.
That is someone wearing a mask. And it was just like, well, I'm back. But what I love about Texas is how friendly people are. They say hi to you and make eye contact. I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
I do that, but and Pasadena's pretty chill. But LA, it just makes me all the more want to like move and get a house somewhere not here.
Right.
Do it.
Yeah. But I got to run doing Hollywood on the Rocks in like less than an hour. But thank you, Gary. I'll be back next week. And we got to, I don't know what your schedule is because I know you're traveling. What your schedule will be, you'll let me know.
I will let you know. It's going to be crazy. I got to get a lot of content done before I go. Lots of work to do.
Cool. All right. Take care. And X-Ray Girl, we missed you at Anime Matsuri.
Oh, thank you.
It was 20%, maybe 30% less fun without you there.
That is a lie. And I appreciate that.
You are like down for whatever and having fun. And like, you better go next year.
It'll hopefully be in the plans. Got lots of
all right
stuff in the future.
Catch you later, Chris.
Right.
Thanks,
Bye,
brother.
Chris.
Sure, everybody, play that Gay Boy clip after I leave. Make sure.
Oh, I got it ready. Bye.
Okay.
Bye, Chris.
So long, gay boys.
All right. I'm going to get through as many as I can.
Okay.
I'm all the lidocaine
While
is gone.
Do you want me to read it while you respond? Would that help with the pain?
That goes.
Okay. We got Mark Klein for $10. Have you heard Star Blazers last week? I recently picked up the first 2 seasons, and watching them took me right back to the last time I watched in the 6th grade in 1979. Pure heaven.
Yep. I used to wake up early in the morning to watch that show. Love it.
Victor Von Doom for $1.99 says, I came for the Lucasfilm fire sale.
Yeah, I wish it was other parts of Lucasfilm, but it's just Singapore. But it's still a bad sign. But Kathleen Kennedy's not going anywhere.
Samantha B on the Jaloja level says, we heard the whole thing, Gary. It was hilarious, and you didn't pick your nose in case you were wondering.
Oh, that's good.
Neo Conqueror on the Streamlabs for $5 says, I had a blast hanging out in Houston with y'all, Chris. I tried a new AI voice. David Tennant now endorses your movie too.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool. Henry back to play for $9.99 says, Hail, watch your P's and Q's, everyone. Suspended on X/Twitter for a week for calling Biden admin government corruption. Whores, long live the fellowship.
I don't find that I don't know. Yeah, it's back to the old Twitter, I guess. Kinda sad.
Well, I mean that I forgot the name of the lady, the lawful but awful censoring people. Not okay with that.
Nope.
But we got the Grizzly on the Streamlabs side for $5 says, I forgot that the new Dracula movie was out this week. Perfect time to release a Dracula movie, by the way, during August. Also, Dracula the book was written like a found footage film, with it being vignettes about people encountering him.
Yeah.
Razor Burn on the radicalized level says, Gary, please come to Dragon Con. Chris is going.
No.
I don't even know when that is.
It's Atlanta. It's in Atlanta.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. I wish I could, but I can't. Yeah. I am going to the UK. I got a couple other small meetups after that, but I got one in Wisconsin. And
It's
one
a lot
down
of
here.
work to
But,
plan for these.
I generally want to stay home for the holidays because that's kind of a busy time for us. And I just want to be home for the holidays.
Yeah. We got Rude Dude Reviews for $5 says, hi, Chris Gore. Just got Attack of the Doc in the mail last night and can't wait to watch it after work today and hail the fellowship. Hail to you, Rude Dude. Ryan Grumps for $10 says, hail Chris, Gary, and X-Ray. The Netflix Depp versus Heard docuseries came out and they used a lot of YouTube videos. Did you hear that they're now wrongfully copyright claiming the original creators?
Yeah. Nick Ricade is in it. I think Tug is too. Hell to those guys.
Oh, no. I don't know if you want to do that to Nick Ricade.
He's a lawyer.
Dang. Oliver Morgan for $4.99 says, they need to stop hiring people who dislike these stories and then tell them not to read the existing lore. Let people who love the story write it.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Gary's Beard Crabs on the Jaloja level says, 199 cult liaison scanning in.
There you go. 199.
Texas Garden Guy just donates $4.99.
Oh, what's up, Texas Garden Guy? How's it going? Love you, brother. Yeah, we saw you.
I like gardening.
Yeah.
Professor Savage Dad for $10 says, the hashtag Dadosphere demands our kids humor us. Oh, that was when your son went or is going to go see Blue Beetle with you?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know how to say this. Joao. Yao? Joe?
Jow.
Sorry.
I have
Joao.
J-O.
Marquinos.
Joao.
Or 10 Brazilian just gives a smile emote.
After we just butchered his or her name. Sorry.
You're the more you have more expertise in Mexican Spanish names. We'll go with Spanish names.
But that
I
might
don't even
be
know.
Portuguese, right?
Portuguese?
So, yeah.
Fair Samra for $5 says, I heard Lucas thought he was getting the same deal Pixar got.
Yeah, he was hoodwinked in a way.
Oh, was he?
Bob Iger's a piece of shit. Java Bean for $14.99 Australian. Hey Gary, I can't sleep, which means I can catch you live since you moved. Nooners are too early for Australia. Mad Max event in Broken Hill in March. Come over here. Hail. Oh, that'd be fun. Hail Java Bean. I miss you, man. Does the best Fourth Doctor impression. I was your age, Gary, when I saw Star Wars 11 times in the cinema. Drove my family nuts. What a wonderful experience. Liam Hemmings for €5. I totally agree. It was a good time. And it was like nothing we'd ever seen before. It was like watching a movie from 20 years in the future. That was made 20 years in the future. For the Emperor, on the Jaloja level, hail, I'm glad nothing bad happened when you accidentally streamed. I mean, there's no danger. If I'm recording a video, the only bad thing that will happen, and I don't think it's bad, is you just see how I make videos. And I don't know if the way I make them is like how other people make them. But, yeah, there's no shame in my game. I don't care. Darius White for $10. Garethy, next time you do a bit on AI versus Hollywood writers, please use clips from South Park's awesome O episode where Cartman pitches movie ideas. As always, South Park is always way ahead of his time. Ooh, I'll have to look at that before we get the next. The Next Strike video doesn't even bring up AI. It's all the other stuff. Because AI is a potential problem. They are collapsing now. AI has nothing to do with what's going on other than it's scaring the shit out of them. But it has nothing to do with why Hollywood is failing right now. Has zero to do with it. Zero. Leaf Arna Karsmo for 50 Norwegian krona. Thank you for the peach super sticker. Cheers. Polish Prince, radicalized, scared Gary emote. Is there... that must have been me
It's
streaming.
one of our personal emotes. Yeah.
Robert McNeil for $10. Cheers. Thank you for the donation. Liam Hemmings for €5. Disney has made a fortune from copyright-free European classics. You're right. Why should they respect anything? They have no stake in the content. Yeah. There's probably a lot of people at Disney that think they made up the Snow White story. Pupa Chalupa on the Jaloja side. She's a little rich girl. She thinks she has everything figured out, and the people in the 1930s were barbaric caveman. She's our savior. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, mid-level talent child actor, basically. Z3PO. Rachel Zegler needs to know when to shut her mouth. Yes, she does. And her handlers, her agent, the marketing team have all failed her. And her parents. Is this actually a stream or recording a video? Not really sure, Clifton 3D. Ko Lee for $10. Hail, Gary. Hail, Chris, etc. Frank Gore. Hail, X-Ray Girl. Mad God was so interesting watching it on a flight to work and only realized halfway through that they are children behind me. Ooh, whoops. Luis Sueves for $10. I got to say this very slow. Trump made a little bit of news with his Truth Social post where he said he was going after all of the riggers. So as in election riggers. All riggers scan in, rigger to scanning in. There you go. Oliver Morgan for $1.99. Blue Beetle is Mexican Iron Man. No, Mexican Iron Man is Mexican Iron Man. There's only one Mexican Iron Man. It's not Blue Beetle. It's Mexican Iron Man. A very Gandalf. Wow, 7 months. How time flies. Time flies. It does. Mm-hmm. Nika for 10 British pounds. Hey, Gary, Chris, and X-Ray Girl. Looking forward to the London meetup. Can you tell us who the special guest is or that still a secret? Hail.
That's up to you.
I mean, did we get a confirmation? Because now we have like 3.
Well, I was going to say, you probably had a better confirmation on one of the special guests than I did.
Yeah, when it gets closer, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Because I don't want to commit him.
Yeah.
Rachel acts like football player with head injuries, says Curtis T of Montana. Prince L. Lien for $5. Alien. Hail, Nerdrotic. Congrats on hiring a new X-Ray Girl so quickly after firing the last one. This new one is pretty easy on the eyes. Hope she's a keeper. Simp. Farir Samra for $2. I miss when there were 2 girls in the universe, LOL, and 1 cup. Professor Savage Dad, welcome to the Jaloja level. Hail. Grand Wazoo 42 radicalized. Hey, Gary and Chris, keep it up. Thank you. Cheers. Flavius Pasca for 25 Rons. Keep it up. Super sticker. Matthew Hammond. Is it possible that Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 will make more money even if it released before Dead Reckoning Part 2? Will make more money when it is released before Dead Reckoning 2. Maybe. Oh, are they going to re-release it before Dead Reckoning Part 2? Have they even filmed it? They should have filmed them back to back. Not sure why they didn't. Weird. I don't know. Nemovorsky on the Joel. It's a possibility. Chris, what's going on with Dragon Con? Will you be at a booth? And he just talked about that as or any meetups planned. He will talk about that. Flavius Pasca for $25. Go check him out on Hollywood on the Rocks. But he talked about it. He's going to be there. He's going to have some stuff. I'm not sure what to say, says Anonymous on the Geologia side, but you just said something. Flavius Pasca has donated 25 Rons for a super sticker. Thank you very much. Jam55, welcome to the radicalized level along with Natalia. Barton Bella for $5. Take it. The Rocky Horror direction. Costume props, people acting out scenes below the screen. Even Lord of the Rings snacks. Go balls to the wall. That'd be kind of fun. Do a Rocky Horror version of Lord of the Rings. That'd be fucking rad. My mom had a stroke. Please pray for her. Hold your loved ones close. Big Keela for $5. Prayers to your mom, for sure. Mm-hmm. John Platt on the radicalized side. I missed the start as I'm getting my house painted. Sorry. You can rewind it, though. If keep the unlisted link. It'll be re-uploaded on Nerdrotic Live soon. Hey, everyone. Twitter wants Sandra Bullock to lose her Oscar over Blindside drama. Thoughts? Fuck off, Twitter.
She shouldn't lose her Oscar based on a fake story.
Yeah, and we don't even know. Like it sounds there's well, it was real. It just sounds like
fudge details. As
time goes on, it sounds like Mike Lore might have burned through all his money and wanted more.
Oh.
I don't know if there's a gambling addiction, a drug addiction. I don't know what's going on. It sounds very sad. Oh, WG for $25. Just remember, Gary, you're not old, you're retro. All the best and happy birthday, brother. Cheers, WG. Thanks for the birthday presents, by the way. Thanks for all the shirts. I got the book. Appreciate you. Yeah, birthday's in a couple days.
I was about to say, I didn't miss it, did I? Oh, my God.
Not making a big deal out of it. Dan's Den of Pop Culture says, hey, Gary, House of the Dragon in Migos New Wave. No shit, really? Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'll check it out. Baba Yogi. In Bizarro World, Disney will give every theater free. Disney would give every theater free every Saturday matinee for an entire year. The entire Disney movie catalog. Eat that. Or even SOTS. What? Song of the South. In Bizarro World, yeah. Abigor. Geologia. Freedom cost $1.05. If you don't pay, who will? A goal 77 for $4.99. Have you listened to the Lord of the Rings audiobooks by Phil Dragish? I have been listening to them on YouTube at Samwise Audiobooks, and they are bloody brilliant. I haven't listened to the Phil Dragish ones. I've listened to Robert Inglis, Andy Serkis, and, of course, the BBC radio drama, which is The Goat. The Goat. Hail, Gary, X-Ray Girl, Frank, chat, and scanned 199, says Ade Robertson for $4.99. $1.99. Black Valley Moon, welcome to the radicalized level. Hail. Cromil 12 for $5. I still have a Miles Morales' Thor comic, and I bought it. I want you guys to sign it. Okay, I will do it. By Odin's Fade. The 70s rock fan. Hey, Nerdrotic, X-Ray Girl, and Chris. Thanks for another fab show. Cheers to you, that 70s rock fan. You rule. Steven Swartz for $5. Sorry, I need a drink.
Okay. Says, thank you, Gary, for the selfies at Chrissy's show. I would have done Matsuri if a horror con with non-woke actors wasn't that same weekend for $5.
Hail. The first, the last, the nerddom. Welcome to the radicalized level. Joseph Benowitz on the radicalized level. Hi, all. Gary, your missus looked at the... Has your missus looked at the emails I have sent? I don't know. I've actually been out all morning. I went straight to the dentist, was there for 3 hours, and did the show. Stephen Blair for £5 British. Any chance I'll be let into the September meetup in London if I'm outside without an RSVP? Email us. Steven, email us. We did. So the additional 150 tickets sold out.
Like within a day.
Oh shit. Okay. Maybe we can do some kind of waiting list, but yeah, just email me. Welcome.
Just we may do something in a public area. Follow us on Twitter, the ones that you know are going. I don't know how we're gonna dole out the details yet.
Nerd Cookies. What's up, Nerd Cookies? Go check out her channel. She's great. Big Dune fan. For $2 says it's hot as balls. Stay cool, Gary. I'm staying cool in my air conditioning. I don't know if you're in the state I'm in. I think you are. Nerd Cookies. Yeah, it's fucking hot. Today's hot.
Triple digits?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like 106.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't mind it. Mr. Ripley, welcome to the Geloja level. Matthew Facsheen for $5. I know you guys don't care about this, but Craig is ripping into DSP right now on side scrollers. It's hilarious. Yeah, as is DSP is Az's thing and Gundam's thing. You know what? You know how I see DSP? I see it as sad. I see it as incredibly sad. I see a guy with massive addiction issues. So, yeah, it doesn't bring me joy. Graham Paltikin radicalized. Hail, when will Johnny Massacre be on FNT? I don't know. Ade Robertson for $4.99. Gollum McGinnis.
I was so excited for you to read that one.
That's good. So much stuff going on right now. Sorry, missed a part of the middle. Have we talked about YMS on EFAP? No. I would say go to the EFAP. Your movie sucks. Listen, words of advice here on YouTube. If you're going to go in and debate Mahler, eat your fucking Wheaties and prepare to lose. That's it. Mr. PJ for 50 Swedish krona. Finally, a member. You're all great. Love your content. Gary, hail to the king. Keep up the awesome work. Cheers to you. The Myriad Spheres Origins. What's up, man? Hail, Gary, and hail to the Iron Age as the Iron Age writer by my book. Yes, he's got a book. He's had a book for a while, and he's an early member of the Iron Age. Jonas J. Campbell for $5. It finally answers the question of why Lucasfilm has so far been exempt from layoffs, because the layoffs never stopped, and now it's their turn. Yeah, I think it's anywhere from 300 to 700 people fired. Hail, Gary and X-Ray Girl. Can't wait to see you in London. Any chance you could convince the critical drinker to come? Pretty please, says Foxy Loxy Geloja. Well, I can say that I am trying to convince him to come down. I am. But he has done lots of traveling. He has videos to make. He is working on a creative project.
And who knows what else?
He's a dad. So, yeah, that like lots of things, a lot of factors in there. Lord Shadowfrost, the radicalized, been watching since 2019. Hail, member since 2022. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you. Seth for $4.99. Chris, my wife and I call male Daisy Dukes Bruce Banners. That's good. That's it. That's good. That is what it's anointed now. Chris Camelot was wearing Bruce Banners. Robert McNeil for $5. My God, the Requiem for a Dream comment. Laugh my ass off. Oh, it's going to have a better ending than Ahsoka. or Chris was talking about the female on female lightsaber duel.
Oh my God. Every time you said that, I was like, this sounds like,
don't look it up.
You know, with two people with lightsabers dueling.
Yeah, except it's one lightsaber technically. And
Yeah, is
two
it?
girls dueling, not with their hands.
Well, that's an image.
Yeah, you don't need to look at it. It's just nothing you need in your life. It's fine. You can go your entire life not seeing that. You'll be fine. Vote for Brandon Herrera for Texas District 23 in 2024. Big killer for $5. Am I in that district? Let's see. What
I have no
Texas
idea.
district am I in? find your representatives. No, I don't want to. That's too much work. If he's in my district, I am definitely going to vote for him for sure. I know he's in my area. Weekend made by meeting you, Gary, and Drinker. Next goal is to attend an FNT meetup. Armando 94 for $4.99. Well, we'll have one next year.
One day.
Screw the 199 hate hearing that, but love you, Gary, and your knowledge like the wizard. Nick 6 for $5. Oh, then no. They're all right. I like the 199. 99. African Prince on the Streamlabs side for $3. Watching from Ghana, West Africa. Hail. Oh, that is fucking awesome.
That is really cool.
Worldwide. Hail, I hope things are going well for you, sir. Worldwide. We're going to wrap it up there. Hey, Gary. Hail X-Ray Girl. Hail, Gary. Hail X-Ray Girl. Thanks for the great nooner. Thank you, Radio Man 1017. We are out of here. Wait.
Yeah.
Mikey likes it. Welcome to the Jalota level. All right. What you got coming up?
I have Lynn Jones coming on Poor Choices tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to see her, we had a great episode the last time she was on, and I want to hear more about her. Plus, she's been so funny on Twitter. So quite like that lady. So yeah.
Excellent.
And gaming, all the good stuff.
There you go. I got a video coming out tomorrow, and Friday Night Tights with Disbrew, talking about Blue Beetle, and then who knows what's after that.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go lay down for a little while.
A rest. You're gonna need it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it. So until next time, everyone, thank you to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on around here. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Ciao.